Um, okay. Gotta go into the caves. Actually, I have nothing on me. Okay. So, oh, I don't have food. Oh boy. Relationship ruiner. I should probably get multiple zombie horses, I guess. Or I should get more saddles because I don't have a normal horse either. Well, I do have a normal horse. Okay. But I do need another saddle anyways. Shield. What else was I gonna make? Oh. I just got rid of all the logs. Two. Three. Alright. Oh, I've never had that problem. No, I hate it. I like being late to things. It gives me an anxiety rush and I enjoy it.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. You know what they do?
I need more cows to kill.
A lot of times, they will constantly let people over 30 minutes early, 45 minutes early. They'll have a call time that's like significantly earlier, just for a buffer period, just to make sure that everybody is there when you know, feet hit the pavement, when things are really intense. Not the asshole, but how did it get as far as 5 years married? I wouldn't go past the third date for someone who didn't value my time as well as anyone else's. Maybe this Instagram bullshit is new behavior. I agree that the Instagram stuff is probably new behavior. I think it's new behavior. I think, though, that instead of
Another
teaching
cow.
her a lesson, I think you have to sit down with her and say, what can we do as a couple to mitigate these things?
I wish you could put horse armor on skeleton horses.
I understand that the social media thing is really
Because I get the whole no saddle, no armor thing, but it's really annoying. I'd rather be able to give it armor than not have to put a saddle on it, because saddles are so easily craftable.
I don't know, dude, but if you love being on time to things, if you pride yourself in your ability to be on time to things, and your wife is constantly making you late for things, it's you've got to have a real conversation. This is happening, as I called it before. This is happening because this Instagram bullshit. I called it. The comments here aren't gonna dig what's going on because they don't think that social media is a real job. The irony of her mentioning your ego.
Alright.
You don't understand. In this job, and I'm saying this as somebody who's already like made it, quote unquote, right? Like I have a team now, but I didn't have a team before, and I had to do everything. I had to set up the lights every time. I had to set up the audio every time. I had to write the script. I had to edit everything, and I did that all the way until I had like 1 million subscribers, and then I hired.
Just gotta get a bunch of food. Bunch of food. I'm gonna go in the caves and I'm gonna get diamonds and stuff. This is actually a really good biome for getting diamonds.
But there is a puberty phase. The problem is, though, she's married, and she's married to you. You know, and you value being on time. That's the problem. Is that it's a big shift in her behavior when you've sort of always felt this way, right? To me, this is a conversation that you need to have. Could you have waited until after the concert, the thing that was so important to her? Yeah, I think you should have. What's the difference of a week? You're burning your own money and smiling at her, feeling like shit. But if you really love your life partner, this woman who's going to be the mother of your children, if you don't want her to resent you, if you actually want to be in this marriage forever, this one time over her birthday weekend, you could have waited. I think you're an asshole. These people don't. I do. I know a lot of the comments down below are gonna be on this guy's side, and I also understand where you're coming from, because if your partner doesn't respect your time constantly, that's an issue. But this guy had systems in place to where they could be on time, and all that was him lying about them leaving 40 minutes earlier. He's saying it's mentally exhausting. I agree. It's exhausting. You don't want to work for him. Dude, you are showing me, and you are showing your wife, that you don't respect your wife anymore. You don't respect your relationship, and you're putting that. And now, the only response that makes sense in this chess move that you did is for her to resent you. NTA. This one says, I mean NTA, but did you have to do it on her birthday? LMAO, that's wicked. I get it, right? The Instagram girl thing, the Instagram, I know the influencers in the wild, like Instagram feed where everyone's taking pictures.
See how fast you are.
I went to the Starbucks yesterday.
Oh my!
Clearly got a new haircut, like a really cool.
You are slow.
It looked good. It was really smooth looking.
And no
She
hops.
had her phone in the back of her car. I'm in LA, by the way. She had her phone in the back of the car, and she was standing outside.
I'm so sorry for you.
Just kind of moved to the camera, and I thought, nice haircut. I didn't judge that she was doing the whole song and dance in front of the camera, because I know what that is. I know what that's like. I know what it means. I know that can contribute to brand deals and stuff. And it took an extra 1 or 2 minutes of her day.
That is too far away. You can only sleep at night and during thunderstorms. You can only sleep at night and during thunderstorms.
To where they can get that first employee, that first assistant to help them out, then all that stuff was worth it. You know, they all see this North Star that you're not seeing. I think in this story, sure, maybe it's in everyone's sexier situation.
Okay.
the wife should be made more aware of how annoying she's being to this guy, but that is on the guy to communicate exactly how he feels. Yeah, this was a communication thing, but
Idiot.
now it's got to be a group therapy thing because she's gonna resent you for this, and she should, in my opinion, she should. Anyway, that really got me upset. But that's okay because I'm gonna play a happy song now. Let's do a happy song. Yay! Yay! It's a happy, happy, happy song. Feel better?
That's how you end the video? Alright.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. It is a beautiful day here on the planet of Earth.
You know what?
It's also a beautiful day for
I already
picking
tamed you.
revenge.
I
feel
gotta-
like to warn you, though. Your boy
I gotta bring you
just
back.
got a little bit of a tummy ache. Just a little one, all right? So we'll see how
No
that changes the
neglect
course.
here. Okay?
Okay,
There will be
probably
no
not gonna be screaming as
neglecting
much. Cut to me screaming later in the video.
this horse.
You ever have that feeling where you really got to burp? You know what I'm saying? It's just like a bubble stuck in your stomach. That's what's going on.
I'll give you a saddle and I'll give you some. Damn. And let's give you some booze as well. Now you're bougie.
I don't know if my stomach's all twisted
Yeah.
up or something. I'm just one burp away from being happy. Anyway, so today we're going to be looking at Petty Revenge, starting with this
There
story.
you
A
go.
regular kept spoiling a show I was watching. I used to work at a comic shop, and we had a lot of regulars who would come in every week who I got
I
to
think
know
I should
fairly well. There was
also
one guy
probably
who had mentioned
get
that he
more
liked Stargate. So one week
fences.
he came in, and I mentioned to him that I'd started rewatching Stargate from the very beginning. I also mentioned that I'd never seen the last 3 seasons or any of the spin-offs, so I was excited to see them. The first thing he says is, "Oh, so you don't know about detailed description of something that happens in the final season." You ever seen those videos of people who had read the Harry Potter series, like the day that it came out, like not the Order of the Phoenix, what's the good one? Deathly Hollows. You know, where the big thing happens, and then there's a video of a guy who goes up while somebody's reading that particular Harry Potter book, surprise microphone, and he says, "So-and-so dies." And then the retaliation of that is the kid who's reading this book gets up and just starts pummeling the other guy. Stories matter. You know, the way that we respect the artist as we go along the journey of the story that they carve out for us. It's
I
really
don't
important for us to
respect
follow
the
the
artist
visual
of
track
Harry
and
Potter,
that they set for us. And if we
but-
don't get that experience,
but
it's like
the
it's
art
like
itself,
two-way
yeah.
disrespect. We're disrespecting the artist.
Harry Potter's a
We're
good
not the track
series.
that they laid out for us.
J.K.
We're
Rowling
disrespecting
is
ourselves and
a
our ability to enjoy such a carefully crafted
not
story.
as good
When somebody
person.
else comes up and ruins it for us. This is what this guy did, and I was like,
I mean,
whoa,
it's
no
not like
spoilers, which should have been
J.K.
enough,
Rowling's
but it wasn't. Every week he'd come back in and spoil it for me even more, and every week I would tell him
a
to please
racist
stop
or
spoiling
anything
it.
like
This
that
went on for about 2 months. Between the regularity
that I
and the
know
smirk
of.
he'd get on stage, every time I
But
asked him not to tell me
I
spoilers, I
mean,
knew he was doing it on purpose. So one week, he came in and bought a big pile of comics he'd ordered. I waited for him to pay, and then, instead of bagging them up, I fanned them all out on the counter. You
Still
see,
not
I
the
read
best.
a lot of comics, especially back then. I read every new comic that was published by Marvel and DC, and then some, as they came out. So it just so happened that I had read every comic he had just purchased. I proceed to point to each comic and spoil every single one. He didn't talk to me about Stargate after that. That's pretty good petty revenge. That's good petty revenge because it is a one-to-one thing. You are doing to him exactly what he did to you. I like that in this situation. I don't always like that, but I like it in this situation. You know, honestly, I feel like sitting down is making this stomach thing worse. So I'm gonna switch camera angles. I'm gonna stand up for a little bit of this one. Yeah, just don't spoil a story for people, man. It's not bueno. You know what I'm saying? It's such a crappy thing to do. Here's something that I used to do though. Back in college, when Breaking Bad was a thing, before the series was over, my roommate in college at the time used to, you know, he wasn't caught up. He wasn't all caught up on Breaking Bad. And if you are not caught up on Breaking Bad, don't worry. This is not a spoiler because we were too early in the show for me to know this or not. But what I used to tell him jokingly was, "Oh, did you get to the episode where Skyler dies?" I was joking. In the series, at the point that we were watching it, I'm not saying if it does or doesn't happen ever in the show. That's what I used to joke around and tell him was, "Did you get to the episode?"
That's
where Skyler
funny.
dies?"
That's
And
really
he would
funny.
be so mad at me. Because either I was clearly lying and bluffing to him that, like, just so you know, Skyler doesn't die, or I was telling the truth and spoiling it, and that was on me. But I would say it with a wink, just like, you know, we're playing a game of chicken right now. Do you know if I'm joking or not? Because I don't know. Because then in the back of your mind, you're like, does she die? Skylar being Walter White's wife. Anyway, very strange. This is the epitome of what I come to this sub for, right? Petty justice at its
It'd be funny if he spoiled it right at the end.
totally deserved. You know what I will say though?
This isn't a spoiler.
For being able to point to each comic and spoil every single one. I don't remember most of what I read. Sometimes you'll notice me reading something right here on Reddit, and I will forget it instantaneously, even though the words came out of my mouth. It is a superpower that I have. I've got Ron Burgundy disease. I will read something down to the punctuation. It will come out of my mouth in a flawless fashion, and I will have no clue what I just said. It is a byproduct of my ADHD. I apologize, but it is a part of me. But the fact that this guy can read all of these comics and be able to comic by comic spoil it is mind-blowing to me. I don't have that kind of power. Yeah, I think standing is actually helping me a little bit with my tummy. Stand up, baby. It's time to stand up, baby. It's time to stand up, baby. This happened to me online with a girl who was hell-bent on spoiling Star Wars Episode 7 for as many people as possible in an online forum. She mentioned her boyfriend was a massive Star Wars fan, and she couldn't spoil it for him because he'd get, quote-unquote, shitty. So she was doing it to others online for whatever effing reason. Getting it out of her system, I guess. Weird. That's weird. It's like, no, you actually don't need to get that out of your system. You ever think of that? You ever think that maybe you just need to shut up or talk to people who've already seen the movie and discuss the movie with them? You don't need to, why do you want to spoil it for people? That's crazy. I went in her profile and found
I think the reason why people do that is because they want to tell a story, but they can't. They don't have their own story, so they're gonna tell someone else's story. Because I love telling stories, but I can actually create my own. So I do. Matter of fact, I tell the stories with other people. Like, the other people are a part of the story. It's my favorite thing to do. Bring other people in on the story. Have their decisions impact the story. So fun. Like, I guess that's why a lot of people like D&D. I'm not a big Dungeons and Dragons fan because it's set. I don't really like the whole futuristic thing, or not futuristic, the past thing. Like, most of it's medieval. I don't really enjoy medieval content very much.
Sharing in stories and bonding over those stories. On my main channel, I made this video a long time ago, how I accidentally wrote the Office theme song. And a lot of people who love The Office, who have a community, who have bonded over watching The Office together, reached out to me and got a clean MP3 of that song and used that song to walk down the aisle. Fandom is so strong, because it's a story. Ultimately, it's like people coming together over a story. I just think it's so cool. Anyway, here's the next story. Revenge on the Thieves. So I used to run a crew for a landscaping company, and people love to steal the gas cans off of the trucks. One day we had to get all new cans because they got stolen, and these cans aren't cheap. They run around $60 each plus fuel. So when we went to fill them, we filled the diesel cans with gas and the gas cans with diesel. Okay. So that is bad. I think I should go without saying this is bad. That's gonna mess up the other engine as far as I understand. A couple of weeks later, we come to find the gas can stolen and have a slight laugh. Well, we pack up and head to our next stop, only to find our gas cans on the side of the road empty. We pick them up and drive on down the road and find a brand new Cadillac Escalade sitting in the middle of the road, dead. We simply waved and went about our day. This happened quite often, but that first time was the best. I still remember the look on their faces as we drove past. No idea.
Okay, so I have the first two leads.
Consequence for theft from those trucks. After we told the owner all the tanks got switched on every truck, and sometimes we would set a tank filled with something really bad in a very tempting location. There's a huge spider back here. Sometimes you gotta confuse the enemy, and this is a strategy to do that. What was in the very bad can? Brilliant idea, by the way. Copies of Adam Sandler's Jack and Jill. Okay. Diesel in a gasoline engine is not so serious. Worst case would be to clean the fuel system and filters. Gasoline in a diesel car, that will destroy the engine. And this replier says, can confirm, with tears streaming down their face, this person is in pain, or the thief which case they need to get down with it. My dad was a truck driver in the 70s, and they had a pump yard for fueling the trucks. Every month, they watched them pull in a car and fill up with diesel. I asked why they didn't call the cops. He said they were being punished enough. You fueled them. Fuel me once. Sounds like a quote from Bush.
I'm gonna go tear down an entire forest and get a bunch of coal.
Next story here. My coworker loves taking credit for other people's work. Then he got exposed. I work as a software engineer, and in my team, we follow the usual process of writing code, reviewing it, testing it, and deploying it. One of my coworkers, Steve, had a habit of taking credit for other people's work in front of management. He isn't a bad developer, but he loves making it seem like he was doing more than he actually was. I'm quite introverted, so I don't usually speak up in meetings unless I have to. Calling someone out directly doesn't come naturally to me, so I usually just let things slide. During a big project, I spent days fixing a complicated bug. The problem ran deep, and the fix had to work across different parts of the code. If you hadn't actually worked on it, it was pretty hard to follow. After a lot of time, I finally got it done. The next team meeting, before I could even say a word, Steve jumped in and started explaining my fix was his. He kept saying things like, "We decided to," and "our approach was to," making it sound like he was the person behind it. I was annoyed, but I kept quiet. The next day, another bug popped up in the same area of the code. Our manager turned to Steve and said, "Since you worked on this, can you patch it?" And that's when the fun started. Steven froze. I added an N to his name because I thought it would be appropriate to give him his Christian name. The thing is, if you didn't actually write the fix, it wasn't easy to understand how it all fit together. He had no idea where even to begin. He tried stalling and even sent me a message asking if I could explain the logic of the code real quick. I told him that I was busy at the moment and that I will catch up with him later on. After 5 hours of struggling, he finally admitted in the team chat and wrote something like, "Actually, I didn't write this part. Maybe Ob can take a look?" I replied, "Of course. I will check it." 10 minutes later. 10 minutes later. I had it fixed. Our manager came over and congratulated me. We were chatting for a bit before heading off. He made a deliberate comment about how great it was having somebody who actually understands what we are working on. Steve, or as we call him in Christian terms, Steven, didn't say a word. F you, Steve. Let's read the comments here. I had a guy that did this. He used to remove a blank line in code so he would have a commit. He did it to almost everyone. Then he tried to do it to me. I scorched him in front of everyone, grilling him on the fix, then took the screen and pulled up his blank commit. It was fun watching him explain that. So really quick, we're going to go in here and we're going to see what a commit is. You write some code, and commit is like checking it in or saving it to the main code base. A commit for a developer shows that they did something. Okay, so it's like he goes and he's like, yep, I was here. What a dork. Steve should leave people the credit they're due. Yes! Or as my friend Jax Film says, credit the creators. Let's do a little dance. Please start speaking up. Being introverted, it is difficult, but I found that if you have a few practiced sentence openers, it helps you get used to speaking. Things like, actually, when I wrote the code, I found thanks, Steve, but in terms of etc. Keep practicing and you will see a huge difference. This has 400 upvotes, and this reply here says, being confident, open, and even a little brash, it is extremely useful for career success. You can succeed without it, especially in a technical role like software development, but if you can be confident and speak your mind, it's like doing your career on easy mode. Don't we want that? Yeah, dude, I don't know. I really flip-flop between being an extrovert and an introvert. A lot of it has to do with, like, anxiety and my stomach feeling weird and my guts feeling, everything feeling weird. And, like, if for a brief second I'm going to a place and I think to myself, I might have to use the bathroom over there, I freak out. I just don't go. And then I become extremely introverted. It's very hard for me to flick that switch. Some days I'm introverted, some days I'm extroverted. I'm sure you feel the same. Next story, overzealous mother-in-law doesn't respect food boundaries. Gets hit with the fart machine. The story has 18,000.
What?
By the way, just it's probably not going to ruin your lunch. We'll take a look at it. To preface, I love my mother-in-law and value and appreciate everything she does for my family. But she really leans into her role as a grandmother and has said, I'm a grandma. I can do whatever I want. I think at any point when you're saying I can do whatever I want, you're walking a tightrope here. I think there's maybe like 1 or 2 circumstances where you're allowed to say I can do whatever I want, and it works out. And she says I can do whatever I want whenever we ask her to respect our food choices for our kid. This means spoiling her grandkids with sweets and treats against her kids' wishes. also, like, dude, giving, like, sweets and sugars and stuff. Tummy Ache Express, dude. Anybody ever celebrate freaking Halloween, dude? You know? Her kitchen is full of cookie drawers at all times. I once watched her give my 8-year-old nephew a full angel food cake just to see what he would do. Spoiler alert, he ate the full thing and then got...
Oh my god.
Why don't you give a kid a knife? Just see what he can do, huh? Different situations. Yes, of course. Different situations. But what do you mean just to see what he can do? That's weird, dude. This kid isn't your science experiment. You want him to grow up being alright. You know, you're not giving him freaking gummies with a bunch of THC in there, having him walking, floating around the house like a ghost. You're giving a kid a full angel food cake to see what he would... You're Miss Trunchbull in Matilda. You know the chubby kid who eats that entire chocolate, who's forced to eat that entire chocolate cake? Awful. Great movie. I should watch that again. Did you know that was directed by Danny DeVito? Isn't that crazy?
Really?
So over the weekend, we're staying at her house, and my 3.5-year-old
I did not know that.
son is very well aware that she'll give him whatever he wants. It is breakfast time, and he's asking for ice cream and cookies, to which I say no and redirect him to his banana and yogurt. This is also... Obviously, it's a lot better than ice cream and cookies, but it's still pretty sweet. You know, it's pretty sweet opening breakfast, but that's okay. Yogurt's good. Yogurt's really good, because it's got probiotics in there. She gives him the chocolate chip cookies anyway, and I say, I'd appreciate you not feeding my son cookies before 8:30 in the morning. She just smiles and says, oh, come on, let him live a little. Later that morning, my wife and I are shopping at one of those beach slash...
Let him live a little?
I've ever read the word
More like let him die a little.
crazy spelling, isn't it? But that's totally right.
Like,
Also telling you nothing.
I hate sugar. Sugar's disgusting.
A fart noise maker on a keychain. Well, this guy. My mother-in-law absolutely hates potty humor, and my son is a 3.5-year-old boy, so yeah. Farts are the funniest thing in this world right now. I bring it home and it goes exactly as I predicted. She hates it and he loves it. But she can't say anything because she sees how much he's enjoying himself. The thing has 6 different noises, so he's absolutely laying into
I never
having
did
a blast
enjoy
and all
those
around
jokes.
cackling. So my
Ever.
mother-in-law is grumbling about how disgusting it is and how she hopes it breaks, and I shoot her a grin and say, oh, come on, let him live a little. Great.
Oh, that's awesome.
I also hope, in general, that y'all lay down the law and be like, okay, no, don't feed. I'm telling you not to feed him before this time, because that could be damaging. You don't want a kid being sick all the time, or you can get not just stomach aches, headaches.
Actually, give me that fire
charge,
charge, that flame charge.
Sugar at like weird times of day. You know what I mean? Just don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But
Host? Yep, floating grass.
I don't know. Then again, there's a cereal called Cookie Crisp. Y'all remember Cookie Crisp, dude? When I was a kid, I used to love that
Oh,
stuff.
gold.
I'm lucky now. You know, I'm not well adjusted. You know what I'm saying? This person here says 10 out of 10, no notes. The only thing that would make it better is if it was included with a fart smell dispenser. I'd give that a 12 out of 10. Can I tell you something? No matter what, to do fart smell sprays, don't do that. When I was filming my show in London, I was out there for 4 months, and one day, somebody in the crew sprayed farts everywhere. And I was like, we are in a soundstage. There's a woman in her 70s playing my grandmother. You want her to smell that everywhere? It's not funny, dude. Don't do that. Please don't do that. We never did it again. Anyway, moving on. I thought this was going in more of a lactose intolerant direction. So did I. I'm not sure if I'm happy or disappointed that I didn't. Me for one, farts sounds very funny. Smells, on the other hand, miss me with that, dude. I want none of it. He hopes it
Neither
works.
of them are
Buy some
funny.
backups just in case, and download a fart app so you and your boy can harmonize. Good God, y'all are evil. Holy God. Next story. My roommate keeps bringing visitors over all the time without warning. No problem. I have the solution. In my youth, I had to share a room countless times. Sometimes I had excellent roommates, and other times I didn't. But the worst by far was Mr. John. First name Little? What? Mr. John and I shared a room in the 90s, and it was a nightmare to be with him. There wasn't a week when his friends wouldn't come over to play N64, roleplay, or argue about comics and manga. What do you mean roleplay? You just had people role-playing in your living room? It's true. I just didn't know that's something people did. They just roleplay? Do you mean like Dungeons and Dragons or something? I didn't have a problem with that, but they would always
No,
come
that's
at
just
any
some things.
hour, and without warning,
Role players do
John
that. They just be doing it
John was useless,
for the love of the
less
game.
so to the administration since they were silent. But it was affecting me. One night, his friends came over without telling me anything. I was already in bed, about to fall asleep. I tolerated it until I had to go to the bathroom and walked past where they were playing. There was no other way to go. Dressed only in boxers. I thought everything would be calm when I got back, But in the morning, John stopped me and asked me to stop walking around in my underwear. I said I had to go to the bathroom, but he told me to hold it, that I would bother his friends. All men, by the way. I counter-argued. They came over without warning, but he continued with the argument that he lived there and that they would come over whenever he wanted. That gave me an idea. The next time they came over without warning, I put on tidy whities and started walking around the bathroom, the kitchen, to do my life. John looked at me with hatred. But hey, I lived there too. Since he invited his friends over at any time without warning, I could dress however I wanted. This led to more arguments with John, but they were in vain. No one gave in. So whenever his friends came over unannounced, I'd dress in my underwear or jock straps and hang around, or we'd start talking about comics. I lived my life. After a while of seeing me almost naked, they started letting me know when they were coming, and they also cut back on the frequency. When it came to renewing contracts, John didn't sign me, and it was the best part. But I stayed in touch with his friends, including a Venom fan. So that was another victory. I wonder why the Venom fan is relevant. I guess you're a fan of Venom. You know what, dude? I went to the movies several months ago, and I saw Venom 3
That is
without seeing the first two because I'm AMC. You know what I'm talking about, so I just needed a reason to go to the movies. And honestly, I had a great time. I didn't see the first one, I didn't see the second one. I saw the third one, I was like, this is a pretty damn good movie. Just seeing movies, dude. Oh, God, I love seeing movies. I love just sitting there in a theater with your popcorn and a bunch of crunch. You got dark chocolate covered almonds. It's great when they get the popcorn right. Sometimes they burn the popcorn a little bit, not a fan of that. And sometimes they undersalt it, not a fan of that. But boy, do I love watching the movies. Got some guys to talk comics with, dropped inconsiderate roommate, found out you weren't an exhibitionist for guys. When this person replied, being in boxers was the only option I could think of, honestly, and about my friendship with that guy, it's very nice and productive. He taught me how to role play. Not as difficult and complex as D&D, but a role-playing game nonetheless. Okay, so it's not D&D, it's something else. I would have started moaning in my room and spew stuff like
What?
The thing was that it had to be quiet, and playing Mario Kart 64 and Tidy Whities was enough. It's really funny. That reminds me of Breaking Bad. Everything reminds me of Breaking Bad today. His Tidy Whities sold for $32,000. The world's most notorious underwear is up for grabs. Walter White's Tidy Whities. Okay, $7,000. Is this real though? There's a website called thisiswhyimbroke.com, and it just has a bunch of different things to buy. Oh, cool.
I am the one who
You buy a
knocks.
truck for $300,000? What is this website, dude? Bring color and uniqueness to your bathroom by crafting your very own mood ring toilet seat. Okay, this is enough of this. You know what else this reminds me of is like walking around in your underwear trying to fix your roommate's broken boundary situation or lack of courtesy anyway. It reminds me of like you're about to get in a fight with somebody and you just strip naked. What are you gonna do?
What? Oh, the age-old question.
I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is my tummy ache is over. The bad news is this video is over as well. So I bid you a beautiful outro, and thank you for spending time with me. Outro!
No, I'm not going to jingle all the way. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to bow.
Surprise entrance, surprise microphone. It is a 2-for-1 today. Here is the deal. We are going to be looking at a subreddit called r/confessions in which people are confessing. That's the deal. I don't know why I felt like I needed to explain that. And so here we begin. First story is a juicy one. It says, my fiance thinks I'm saving for our wedding. I'm actually saving to leave. Yikes. I imagine that this is a lot more common than people think. But let's read on. You know, I don't know about you guys, but every once in a while when I take a little sip of something, the next day, I don't feel so good. I never thought that would be me, but literally the older I get, it's me all the time. Enter today's sponsor, Z-Biotics. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic food invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. So here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut.
Yeah.
And it is this byproduct that is responsibly and you stuff to do. So click the link in the description to get
Hey.
50% off your first order at checkout, free shipping.
You're not supposed to be able to hit me here.
So if you're not satisfied for any reason, they will refund your money.
Oh, spears are really overpowered.
Now let's get back to it. I am 29.
Starting to like this spear thing.
For 6 years. So since she was, what, 22 and you were 23? Everyone thinks we're relationship friends. We've got the social media photos, the mutual friends, the inside jokes. We're supposed to get married next spring. But I'm slowly dying inside. She's not abusive, she's not cruel, but I feel invisible in this relationship. I feel like a prop in the life that she wants, not a partner. We talk, but don't really connect. We laugh, but it feels rehearsed. What does that mean?
Rehearsed?
And robotic? Well, that sucks. You don't want
It
that.
feels like
I've
someone else is
before,
choosing
and
our
she always says,
lines.
I'm just stressed or looking for problems.
And that
So a
we've
year
done
ago,
this
I opened
many,
a
many
secret
times
account,
before,
started
practiced
saving money
it.
on the side, just a little at first, and then more. She thinks it's part of our joint wedding fund. Well, why? Well, if it's a joint fund, then how is it secret? It's not. It's my escape plan. I don't know when I'll do it. Maybe in a month. Maybe the night before the wedding. Yeah, don't do that. But I can't live this life forever.
Oh,
I
God.
just hope one day she forgives me for walking away.
He's gonna pull a Puss in
This
Boots.
is very writerly. This is like very, I don't know. It's so vague that I don't know if the story is real or not. But I can't imagine that this is a common story, right? So let's approach it from that angle. You think you're gonna marry somebody but they're planning to leave. I think this is a common thing and it's a common confession, but let's see what the comments have to say, right? Well,
What the
before we go into
hell?
that, first thing I want to say, I don't know when I'll do it, maybe in a month, maybe the night before. No, don't do that. Don't do
Silly,
that.
silly spider, I'm gonna kill you.
Because people, you know, they build their lives around each other. Like, you gotta be clear, you gotta be upfront about it. If you already know that you're leaving, which you do, express that. You know, why do you need to save money? What do you mean we laugh but it feels wrong? What does that even mean? Such a weird, this is written by a robot. But the top comment here says, do not wait till the night before the wedding. That would just be cruel. If you can afford to go now, then do it. There's no reason to wait. Yeah, I've said it before on this channel, I'll say it again. The longer you are with the wrong person, the less time you have to spend with the right person. Get on out. If you know you're done, get on out of there, baby. You know, exactly. Unless the partner is abusive, which Op states she isn't, so assuming that's true, it's just totally cruel to do this to her. He needs to be a grown-up about this, sit her down, tell her honestly. Being avoidant over this is how people get irreparably hurt. And then we have this comment that's pretty cool. It says, waiting at all is cruel in this context. He's already been saving for a year. Poor girl is probably contacting relatives and friends, pitting wedding ideas, planning their lives together, making life-altering choices based on a future she was promised that doesn't exist. And he's just stringing her along, wasting her time and setting her up to be heartbroken and humiliated in front of every person she knows and cares about. It will likely be very traumatic for her. Actually traumatic, not just hyperbolically. What a coward.
Ow.
And then the edit here says, turns out Op is a bot. Thank God. I knew it! I knew it! Because nobody says we laugh, but it feels rehearsed. What the does that even mean, dude? Maybe depending on your age and your experience, this might read more natural for you, but like, you opened a secret account. She thinks it's part of our joint wedding fund. How is it a secret? You're contradicting yourself within the same a couple sentences of each other. You know, and then it says, I started saving money on the side, just a little at first, then more. That's how savings works. I don't know, man. Dude, I hate bots so much. This here says pusillanimous behavior. Is that a real word, or is that just a... Oh my god. Pusillanimous. Pusillanimous means showing a lack of courage or determination. Timid. That's the best word ever! I'm going to use that all the time!
Pusillanimous?
Pusillanimous. 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 Pusillanimous.
Oh.
Next story, I've had over 100 cars towed out of my old parking space, even though I didn't own a car to fill it. I really read that like a release title. My bad. years, and when I moved, I had a great apartment on the Red Line, one of the more popular commuter lines. Since most of these commuters were middle to upper class, they usually drove to the station and parked. My parking lot was not secured with any sort of gate or control, so regularly people in a rush would try to use our lot for either the station or the nearby shopping complex. My first ever encounter with my parking space was with a lady who so viciously berated me when I told her that spot didn't belong to her, that I made the decision to tow any car I saw, no matter the circumstance. Pause. This is the opposite of... Okay, so what I will say is, did you have a demarcation on your spot? Like, was it numbered? You know what I mean? Was it numbered like 103, you know, something like that, to show that it was your spot? That's the question, but let's see. Over 1 calendar year of living there, I had somewhere between 100 and 130 cars towed out of my spot. The towing company recognized me, yes good, and had a regular station nearby where they would tow truck and wait for people like this to park in lots they weren't allowed to. For the record, they weren't personally helping me or planning around my calls, they just patrolled our area often, and I was by far their biggest caller. Yeah, dude, if I was working at that tow truck company, I'd be like, are you good, dude? Do you need somebody to put, like, traffic cones there? Caution tape? Like, how is this happening all the time? Like, that's such an odd behavior to be doing this constantly like that. This is very petty. This is extremely petty. But I do buy this story. I think that this happened. This one, I believe.
Redstone, yes. I need that.
Minutes after the people left their cars, I've had 3 cars towed in 2 hours. Entire families have broken down in my lot because their minivan suddenly disappeared after only 5 minutes at the store next door. Why would you do that? This one's, you know, I wouldn't brag about that one. That one seems a little mean, huh? And I love it! Don't park in my spot! And then, this next thing here says, there are towing signs every 3 spaces with big, bold, underlined letters saying, resident parking only, you will be towed. Let me say this, though. Sometimes when I go into parking structures and I see that, and I see it next to some spots, but not other spots, I will assume the ones without the signs equals I can park there. Why? Because I am dumb. Okay? That's why. Yeah, I don't know. Why? You know, if you don't have a car, right, you don't even own a car to fill it, maybe use it for something else. Put a trunk there. Put, like, you know, some kind of locked trunk. You can use it as storage space, right? I don't know. Something. But why are you not selling this parking spot? I feel like I'd set up a Venmo sign and charge people to park there or something like that. Yeah, true. You could be earning tips. Be like, hey, I won't tow you for, you know, $5. Just text me your license plate. You know, just put a sign like there. You could have made so much money. But the thing about you is you're vindictive. Okay, you got a little spunk. You're pusillanimous. And then the first reply here says, probably something in their lease prohibiting it. But Op actually replied. They said, firstly, my lease wouldn't allow it. We had to provide paperwork for any car regularly parked there and couldn't sublease it from the lease agreements. Well, I mean, is that true? Because if people are just parking there regularly and not getting towed unless you're doing it, the rules don't apply, in my opinion. Because nobody's been patrolling. So that's not
Slime.
I also just felt like I personally shouldn't benefit off the parking spot because for me, it's about the rules, not the profit. You're different. You think different. You're in it for the love of the game. You're in it for the love of the toad.
Give me the slime. I want the slime. Yes, give me the slime.
Button that just scared me. Alright. The owner of the company offered me a kickback once, but I turned him down because that seems so effed up. The owner of the towing company? I know tow companies are downright scams, but I didn't want to feel like I was doing it for my own benefit. You were! Just out of principle to punish those breaking the rules. You know, this is like the saddest Batman I've ever heard of in my entire life, dude. You're just standing in the shadows like you better move your car. You're doing it for the love of it. I don't know. Choose why you're doing it. Like, it's fine that you're doing it. You know, it's your spot. Do whatever you want. Like, you're why.
There's more.
In my opinion, for those of you watching, you know, there's very rule-oriented people, like, completely understand, but there's something in, like, street design or road design, like, where if you're at an intersection, there's always cars. That means that the signs aren't properly marked enough, or there's not enough warning. You know what I mean? Like, it is an engineering problem. A lot of people make the same mistakes, then it's a design problem. For example, a door that...
Are you kidding me?
You know, but there's no clear indication that that it's a pull door and not a push door. That's what I'm saying. Like, people are misreading this because they don't want to be towed. People don't want to be towed. So in my opinion, it's a design problem, and you're just like, people are breaking the rule. It's like, it's hard for them to see. It's hard. You ever seen a street sign in Los Angeles? You ever try to park in LA? It's like, permit parking only from this hour to this hour, but if you park here after this hour, you have 2-3 hours unless you don't not have a permit sometimes on a Wednesday. And you read that and you're like, what the fuck? What is that? I know tow companies are downright scams, but I didn't want to feel like I was doing it for my own benefit, just out of principle to punish those breaking the rules. Alright, Batman. I've let plenty of people park here between contractors and people who look incredibly down on their luck. Broken windows or missing hubcaps. So you pick and choose people based on the aesthetics of their
I can't even get up. Little bitch.
People who are actually disregarding the rules out of laziness get screwed over. And then this reply says, if you think tow companies are downright scams, you could have taken the kickback and donated it to a shelter to provide transit access. The kickback would reduce what the tow company makes, reducing payment to the scammer. Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody lies on this damn subreddit. Something's off about this. Now, this commenter says, as someone who has owned an apartment with a single unsecured parking spot that regularly got taken over by strangers, causing huge frustration to me, I applaud your actions. Exactly, people underestimate how frustrating it is constantly to have your space taken. You handled it like a pro, and I would have done the same. We got people applauding these actions, huh? And then this one's actually not a bad idea. Set up a social media channel videoing the reactions of the people when they find out their car has been towed.
Fucking serious?
You could probably gain followers quickly with regular content updates. Yeah, as long as there's a proper
I hate caves.
signage. Like, if there's an arrow like, this spot does not belong to you. Do not park here. You will be towed. With an arrow. Hey, if a lot of people are dumb and they're missing it, you gotta be, unfortunately, you gotta overcompensate just to be like, hey, this is the case. Like, when you open a new restaurant or you open a store or something, you really gotta think about the queue. You gotta think about where people are standing and the psychology of where they are and all that stuff. And I know I'm being too apologetic for these.
There's 3 creepers. Yeah, no, at that point I just had to let them explode.
Slipping by, and you don't have a car.
No way I'm killing all 3 of them.
You don't have a car, so you're just doing this for what, And look, I get it. I would hate it if somebody parked in my spot. I would. When I lived in an apartment, that was such an important thing. I don't know, man. If you're doing it 100 times a year, it's like, god damn, dude. Anyway, all right, next story. Confession. I accidentally hacked my way into unlimited coffee for a year. Hey, cheers to you, buddy. I've been dying to post this somewhere, and now that the guilt has worn off, I feel safe enough. Last year in April, I put an order in on a coffee store website for a bag of coffee for myself and another bag for my friend's birthday. Total came to about 40 pounds, and shipping was 8 pounds. Fast forward a few weeks, I asked for an update on the order, and I haven't received a dispatch email, and then they responded telling me they're out of stock on one of the bags. And they sent me a code to use on their site, 20 pounds, instead of a refund. I emailed back asking for a refund and also for the shipping.
Why can't I heal? Just heal. It's not that hard. God, it's so slow.
Restocked some of the products and are offering a free shipping promo. I had to look around and then realize I never tried that code out. To my surprise, it was still active. I got myself a free bag of coffee on top of my refund and free shipping with it. Was feeling pretty elated about it. Fast forward a few weeks again, I see there's another free shipping promo and decide to pick myself up another bag. I then wondered if that code was made single use. It wasn't. And lo and behold, for months,
no, there's a witch.
Promo, I took advantage and made sure to stock up on not only bags of coffee, but their merchandise. I grabbed myself some matcha, an electric whisk, a messenger bag, coffee cups, you name it, I had it. This ran on until around February this year. In total, I got 12 bags of coffee, each priced at around 20 pounds each, alongside all the other merchandise on their store. Why do you want the merch? I think you would just said it for the love of the game. I was expecting them to catch on eventually, but had no idea how long I had, so I strategically spaced out my orders just enough to not raise suspicion, but also enough to take full advantage of this. I'll probably never get this lucky again, but I also just wanted to share this. 2024 was truly the year of coffee for me. That's a fun little hack you got. This is a good confession, because this one is like, just enough to be like, oh, you found something? Oh, God. And you don't want to spoil it. You know what I mean? Sometimes, dude, you get lucky. You're digging in the ground and you find oil. Okay, and this oil.
God, so many skeletons.
As long as it wasn't like a simple mom and pop shop. You know what I mean? If it was like a bigger company, I would be a little bit less worried about it. So good for you, I think. But if they didn't catch on, that's a them problem. And like a lot of companies, bigger companies like this have like a loss margin of error. You know, they assume they're gonna lose a certain amount of money, do stuff like this. So let's see what the comments here say. They probably issue a new code each year. Good on you for finding the loophole for the year, though. Would be a shame if you called in with more problems now and got another code, though. Wink, wink, smile, smile, nudge, nudge. Thanks. Honestly, had that exact thought. God truly loves a chancer. And then sideways, laughing emoji. I hope it was a big name corporate store and you didn't swindle some mom and pop setup. If it was a big one, good on you. And that's kind of what I was thinking, too. And then the reply here says, can confirm it was not a small business. All right. Hey, you know, you got your Starbucks or your, you know, Phil's Coffee or Pete's Coffee, whatever giant coffee shop you got. You know, good for you, dude. Good for you. You know, you found a loophole. You got some free coffee out of it. Yeah, this is a good confession. I like this.
No.
Confession. Next story.
I had a crazy idea. We were surprised that no one had done it before.
Success doesn't follow a formula.
Why? Why are you after me?
Who knew that
I did nothing to you. You just
planning ahead,
I knew that the experience was going to start when people...
splashed yourself.
playing it by ear,
I saw the opportunity
No.
and built my own online empire.
always moving forward.
Our website is the core of everything.
Your website, your journey. Succeed your way.
I've been secretly feeding my neighbor's cat for 8 months, and now it lives at my place. This is probably gonna make me sound like a crazy cat dude. Hey, nothing wrong with that, huh? It's a
What the fuck is wrong with you? God damn. This asshole.
Dude, but I'm honestly losing sleep over this situation. So last winter, this orange tabby, orange cats are crazy, by the way, for those of you who don't know, started showing up on my back porch looking absolutely miserable. Super skinny, matted fur. The whole sad story. I felt so bad, I started leaving out some cheap cat food I grabbed from the dollar store. Turns out the cat belongs to my neighbors 2 houses down. But here's the thing, these people are terrible pet owners. They leave him outside in all weather. I've never seen them play with him or even pet him. How would you see them do that if it's an indoor cat? Do they leave their windows open all the time? Are you staring at your neighbor? I'm asking because I want to know how you know this. How do you know that they're the neighbor's cat? Are they talking about it? You've never seen them play with him or even pet him? My neighbors have never seen me play or pet with my cats, but I do that all the time. It's because I don't have my windows open. How do we know? And honestly, I'm not even sure they feed him regularly because he was always starving when he came to my place. Fast forward to now, this cat basically lives with me. He sleeps on my couch, follows me around the house, purrs constantly, and gets excited when I come home from work. My apartment feels like it's basically his place now. Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, that's your cat now. That's what that is. The problem is the neighbors have started putting up missing cat flyers around the neighborhood with
No.
a picture. They're asking people to check.
Why are you here? It's bright. You like the darkness. Go back to the shadows from whence you came. Like, fuck off. Damn, I have so many ops. Why are you in the light? Do torches do nothing these days?
But I also feel like a complete psycho for basically stealing someone's pet. I guess you did. Even if they were neglecting him, was the cat lost? And then when it was lost, it didn't go back to the original owner's house, and then it got mad. You know what I mean? Did it become a homeless cat, and then it found you? Do you know what I'm saying? Did they actually neglect him, or did the cat run away and then like got real skinny and stuff? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. What if they actually do care and just suck at showing it? They don't need to show it to you. What if they've been looking for him this whole time, and I'm just some crazy person who kidnapped their cat? And maybe that's what happened. The worst part is I'm getting attached, and now I don't want to give him back, even if I should. I've already spent like $400 in vet bills, good food, toys, a scratching post, and all that stuff, which honestly wasn't a big dent in my budget since I had some money aside from gambling.
Oh my god. I hate games so much. How are you supposed to get anything in this game?
A little column A, column B, my dude. Were you always peering over their parenting? Like, were you always supervising how they parented their cats? I don't know about my neighbors 2 doors down. And when I lived in apartment complexes, I don't think I did then either. I'm trying to think of, like, how would you know? Maybe you would know, but like, you would know.
I swear, every time I fall back to try and not die, they push me further.
I don't know how I feel about about this.
Like, how I'm creating light sources so that I can get further, and they just follow me back anyways.
Has before, but
I can't progress.
if a cat gets out and then becomes like a homeless cat, like loses weight, it's not doing well out there, and it goes to another person's house, they're gonna go, God, the previous owner sucked. They didn't take care of you. Or it should be more obvious that this cat got out and was like homeless for a minute. How do you know you never saw them pet the cat? How? Were you standing in front of their window all the time, like waiting? Sometimes cats just be chilling by a window, and you let them do it because you very well could be a crazy person. And a lot of Reddit is like, hey, between us, that's your cat now. It's like, I don't know. Is it? Everybody's assuming. Like, let's see what the comments say. Was he chipped when you took him to the vet? Because if not, that's what I was thinking. If he's not chipped, keep him hidden until your lease is up or break your lease, move away. If he's not chipped, get him chipped. This is my cat. I've had him for years. Funny how much he looks like yours, though. This one is funny. I like this next one. It says, he's your pet now. Cats do their own adoptions, and you've been adopted. What y'all know about the cat distribution system? Huh? Yeah, what y'all know about the cat distribution system? We've had our cat for like 6 years now. He chose us on one cold night when his owners left him outside. We always let him out because we assumed he was going home. He just came back every day. We found out who his owners were. They moved years ago. He chose us. What? They moved years ago, but they just let that cat. Yeah, I don't know. Some cats are just neighborhood cats. Cats outside every day. They are terrible pet owners. Leaving him outside starving was their choice, not yours. And that choice means that they gave up their right to him. He's clearly happier with you, and he deserves a happy, loving home. He gets that with you, not them. Ultimately, the cat was outside and homeless and starving and all that stuff, and that was because of the lack of responsibility on the previous owner's part. Now they want him back. I don't know, man. I don't know enough. I did something similar a few years ago.
Almost out of shield. I have to go back up.
Near my house gets kitties from the Humane Society to take care of the mice.
I just want some diamonds.
When confronted about it, he says they're cats. They eat mice and birds. Mind you, I live in the Midwest where winters are brutal and many die from the extreme cold temperatures. I can't help myself, so I feed them on my front porch. LOL. They're mostly all feral, but I adopted one of the tame ones.
Feral? What do you mean by feral? Because I know what feral means.
My parents' farm, where they have a warm barn in the winter and constant access to good food. Some people just don't deserve to have pets. P.S. You're not a crazy cat dude. You're a compassionate human being that intervened to help an innocent animal. The world needs more people like you. That makes you and I crazy, and I want to be sane and And then just a little sidebar here, because I'm so catted up right now. This says, I love this stray kitty. I thought this was a cat carrying a knife for a second. Look at this little stray kitty. Look at the little kitty. Oh, it's a happy little kitty. Oh, it's a happy little kitty. Dude, we got some
What the?
blurred out feet is really funny.
Oh my god.
My favorite one by far.
I swear.
Okay? Me and have the same matching tattoo and none.
Ugh.
A few years
Stupid
ago, I gave
sliding
myself this tiny
feature.
tattoo for shits and giggles. I then started dating a guy. He noticed it and said, we should match. I agreed because why not? And gave him it too in the same spot. We then broke up. Later on, I started dating someone else. He also noticed my tattoo and once again wanted to match. And I once again gave them the same tattoo in the same spot. We then broke up. You must be a tattoo artist. My current boyfriend has also noticed the tattoo and is now asking to match. Dude, who are you? Are you freaking Thanos? You're collecting these boyfriend tattoos like rings on your hand? Huh? You know, this isn't another like notch on the belt. This is like another tattoo in the same spot. You just gotta freaking you got minions out there. You know, you tattooing on QR codes that get activated remotely. You got these people. You got an army, dude. Kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's a power move. Not gonna lie. None of them know that they are all sharing the same exact tattoo in the same exact spot with the same exact reason. And I think it's too late to tell them now, and I honestly find it funny. I don't think of my tattoo as a connection to any of them because I got it for myself for fun, not to match or with a memory of someone else, but they all got the tattoo with the memory of me. At this point, if me and my boyfriend break up, I'm just gonna see how many exes I can collect with the same tattoo, thinking they're matching with me, not knowing they're matching with me, and all my exes. I may be a horrible person for this, but I can't lie, I do giggle at it.
Way too funny to be evil.
Funny. This is funny. I like this because this is a real confession. It's cutesy. It's good, and it's small. It's a little small tattoo. You ever seen those semicolon tattoos? I'm assuming something small like that. A little happy face somewhere, kind of kneecap or something. You know, something silly. You know what I'm saying? You only got one life. You understand? Here we go. We're at church now. We're at church, baby. And life is meant to be lived. Okay, we're all just silly. Hey, you remember when you were a kid and you were a silly little guy? You would call being a child a little silly little guy. I remember that. And a giant afro, and I would take a sled and I would just chuck it in my grandparents' backyard, going down a very steep hill. Probably why I am the way I am today. Lots of damage. Hey, just be a silly little guy. Just get matching tattoos with all your exes. Try it out, dude. Live, YOLO. You know what I'm saying? Feel the power. Collect them all. Pokemon. This is really funny. This person here says, show the tattoo. I think it would be funny if they met each other somehow. The op replied with a description of the tattoo. It says, it's 2 dots on the top of my hand near the web of my thumb. So it's like here, 2 dots here. Oh wait. So is it like this? Like you can do like a mouth thing? So is it 2 dots there? It's quite noticeable if you're looking at their hand. Also, my current boyfriend and one of my exes do know each other. They aren't friends, nor do they talk, but in the wrong scenario, they could notice. It's only a matter of time, honestly. This is so funny, dude. And the fact that I'm doing this story right now means they might find out. So if you got 2 dots, near your hand somewhere, this is really funny. And then, actually, the reply to that says, I thought the dots on the web of your hand was a gang symbol, at least it is in the Southwest. Okay, now we are in danger mode, and you watching this story therein makes you pusillanimous. Meanwhile, your ex has multiple tattoos. Each tattoo represents their ex. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know, man. This reminds me of Pete Davidson, and you know how he had that Ariana Grande bunny tattoo behind his ear, and now he just blacked that thing out. Let me tell you something. I want a tattoo. I do. What kind of tattoo should I get? I don't know.
You can only.
Gotta get some armor before I can get this zombie horse.
My last name is Thrasher, for God's sake. That's a tattoo guy's name, right? But does it match my personality? Probably not. Look, if I take this off, can I get some oohs and ahs in the sound effects, please? Thank you. But dude, if I, imagine, I don't know, inside, something here, something there, maybe. Is that too much? Is that weird? Because here's the truth.
Alright, that one's for
a normal job again.
spawn,
I've been doing this for
so I can get back.
7 years or something, and I have nothing on my resume.
And I'll have all of this in here for anybody who joins the world, or if I die, so that's going to be really nice.
Job again. So I could tattoo my face, is what I'm saying.
And I'm going to bring all these guys back.
You guys have tattoos? Where you got them?
But also, what I wanted to do was get a bunch of leads so that I could bring the Happy Ghast over here. And I also want farm animals because we don't have that on the Mushroom Island.
Live, laugh, love, pusillanimous.
I just don't know how I'm going to get this. Because I could bring a lot of the animals with me, just not the skeleton horses because they sink. Shut up. It's such a bad thing. Don't do that. I'm not religious, but I still feel like that's just not a good thing to do. Make a movie based off of David and Goliath and just completely rewrite it in your own way.
Either of them are in a relationship. A lot of context needed here. A lot of context-roni. My wife and I have been together for 14 years, married for 11 years.
Can we just not do that? That seems a little insensitive.
Any behavior that could be construed that way. Uh-oh. We got some man with baggage. Here we have a gentleman with baggage. Here's the thing, though. I've been in a relationship where somebody's been cheated on, and honestly, dude, they were very paranoid. They were very paranoid of anything and everything I could do. I was at a hotel, and I was recording a video for...
Don't need cows. I do need sheep.
There was this robot that was delivering food and stuff to somebody's hotel room, and it was sick, right? And so I recorded this Instagram story.
So I'll kill all the cows I see.
To the elevator.
And I gotta catch two
there
sheep.
was a woman next to me. A woman who was like maybe in her 50s or 60s, but she had a youthful voice. And she was
Sheep.
standing next to me while I was recording that Instagram story. And
Sheeple.
she was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy! Look at that robot! Isn't that wild?" You could tell by looking on the Instagram story that that it was this crazy robot, and then you heard a woman's voice next to
And
me.
then I guess I should get another horse. Well, I do have another horse. You're right.
What room is she in? Blah, blah,
Me?
blah. And I was like,
I am
"Yo,
right.
It's some strange lady that's next to me. What are you talking about?" And so that's the kind of baggage that you could bring into a relationship if you've been, it's something that it'll just warp your mind. It'll just twist your mind around. It could really mess you up, dude. What is otherwise a completely sane, awesome person ruined by this mentality that any woman equals bad, and this guy was in a relationship for 14 years, married for 11 whole years, but clearly he has some issues because he's been cheated on several times in the past, and so he's very sensitive.
There's my other
I
sheep.
get it, it's tough, it ain't great, but it just sucks, dude. Somebody in the chat says insecurities are complex and
I
difficult.
need a lot
Yeah,
more
they're
leads,
complex. I
though.
think the whole cheating thing, I think the whole insecurities thing is not a one size fits all. In my personal opinion, I can understand your baggage until a point. If your baggage causes you to be disrespectful to me and my autonomy, meaning the way that I can live my life, if I have to be paranoid that there's a woman anywhere around me, strangers or no, when I'm recording an Instagram video of a robot in a hotel, I don't want that. And all the best to her. And this isn't, I'm not trying to dog on anybody, but it felt like she was trying to install security cameras in my brain. That's what it feels like to be in a relationship with somebody.
No.
You don't want that. You don't want to feel like you're a prisoner in your own relationship, and anything you say or do can be misconstrued as, there's a level. There's a level to that. So with that
Oh,
context,
you know what? I
let's go
can
back
make
to
a
this.
carpet.
My wife goes to the same gym 5 days a week and is always there when they open at 5 a.m. It is a serious thing for her. I personally go 3 days a week, but a different gym. She'd really be at the gym, dude. That's a lot of time. Needless to say, conversations have been struck up with her by various people for the last 5 years or so. One guy in particular, who is divorced and 15 years older, started being friendly to her a while back. Not sure how long exactly. A conversation arose about a good lunch special at a steakhouse in town, and it became an ongoing thing. You gotta try this pork chop, etc. Well, on Friday afternoon, she went to lunch with this gentleman, and then when she came home, she mentioned that her leftovers were from this place, and that she went with a friend. Never said anything about a work friend, so I pressed a bit more for curiosity's sake. She told me what happened and swore up and down nothing happened, and she's not interested in that way. Okay. I purchased her at the gym. He's been after her for a while. He keeps saying, "You gotta try this pork chop." She says yes. I don't know. We could trust her, right? Has the guy met him before? Has the husband, has this guy met the gym friend before? That's the question. That's the context we need. I don't trust the gym guy. Not sure about the wife. So far, she sounds genuine. I like that she doesn't hide the fact that she's going to lunch with the gym friend. Hiding it and lying would be suspicious. I don't trust the pork chops. She told me what happened and swore up and down nothing happened, and she's not interested in that way. I will say our marriage has had its ups and downs, but the ups were way higher than the downs. What do you mean? What were the downs? Has she ever, was she somebody who ever cheated on you? I don't think so. It doesn't seem that way. My wife has given me zero reason in 14 years not to trust her. However, the circumstances are quite suspect. What does everyone think? Wife gave him zero reasons not to trust her. That tells me that she's never cheated on him before, ever. And she's been honest with him this entire time, so that's pretty good.
And there's bees? God. I gotta get my silk touch over here and go grab these bees.
You need to go in there and you need to meet that guy and you need to see what's going on. The gym guy, you gotta have a conversation with that gym.
What other mobs? Chickens. Chickens are also a thing.
That was kind of like a date, and I don't really like that idea. You could go as a group. Maybe I just don't want a one-on-one lunch at a steakhouse where you're at the gym 5 days a week and this guy thinks he can, it's like the Benjamin Franklin technique where you put your foot in the door and it's a small little thing. It's a little, you get a little yes on something and then over time psychologically that yes gets slightly bigger and slightly bigger. Called the Benjamin Franklin technique. It's used in sales. It's used in manipulation. Some people will use that as a manipulative tactic. Maybe that's what this guy is doing. Somebody says, I'm going out to lunch with somebody I met at the gym, and if he has not yet told her that he's worried about being cheated on because of what has happened in his past, they should probably establish this as at least common practice for the future if anything like this happens again. That's a good point there, Ender Cobra. Maybe using it to shut him up. Like, okay, I did it. We went to lunch. Stop talking to me. That's really interesting. That is actually something that I was thinking about too. I was like, okay, maybe she did it to get him off her back. Like, great, we had it. Now what? Because if you go to the same gym for 5, dude, I've canceled a gym membership over last. One time I was at a gym, a guy who knew who I was literally standing on the treadmill next to me and was talking to me the entire time. He wasn't walking. I had my headphones in, and he was standing next to me on the treadmill, and he was a surprise microphone. He was just standing there on the treadmill next to me talking to me. About what? About his script ideas. I
Oh
think
my.
the whole can men and women be friends thing. And let me start by saying this. Of course, men and women can be friends. Of course. Yes. 1,000% yes. However, the inception
Any
of that
other
relationship,
mobs?
how did that relationship begin? You know,
I
what is it
don't
like?
think there
Like,
are other
90%
mobs that spawn.
of communication is
Because you've
nonverbal,
got
so people
sheep,
can say
pigs,
things to
cows,
you. People can
chickens.
say
Are there any
anything
other
and
farm
justify anything
animals?
in any kind of way.
Rabbits don't
If they
spawn
behave a
here.
weird way, if they say, hey, how are you? That's friendly, right? But if they look at
Think
you
we're
and they
good.
look you up and down, they're like, hey, how are you? Technically, all the guy said was, hey, how are you? But then there's a subtextual thing. There is a subtexturonian cheese that really
I should probably get another
changes
donkey,
everything. It
though.
changes everything. And that's hard to put parameters around. Ultimately, the only real solution to this is, do I trust my partner or not? Do I trust my partner to make the right decisions or not? Do I trust
Because I
my
want to get
partner
2 of
not to cheat?
every
So,
breedable
is this
animal.
guy overreacting? No. Yes. Yes, because he didn't set an expectation. No. Maybe. No. Wow. Yes, he is, because there's probably nothing there. 50-50. That is fascinating. We're getting a lot down the middle. Most say no, he's not overreacting, but some say yes. His partner can't know until he says something. Okay, there we go. I think that's something that everybody is in agreement on, is that the guy himself needs to say, just don't have lunch with the guy one-on-one when I'm not around. It just feels weird. I think maybe that's what it is. But people are saying he needs to trust his wife. I agree. And she's not giving him a reason to distrust her. I think that's just a little, I think every relationship, you should have a little rule book on what you're comfortable with and what you're uncomfortable with. That's all. Hey, I know it's probably nothing, but I would just appreciate it if you didn't go on a one-on-one thing with this guy who seems to be interested in you. I don't want you to give him the wrong idea, and I don't want to have to deal with the aftermath of that. Somebody says, my wife sent me this because pretty much this exact scenario happened with us, but much earlier in our marriage, about 2 years in. She went to a gym 4 to 5 days per week at around 5 a.m. The guy was also about 15-ish years older, and they went to lunch after meeting in the gym and apparently regularly striking up brief, casual conversations. She came home with leftovers, which I ate. Wow, that's like
You
literally
can
the
only
exact
sleep
same
at night and during
scenario. After
thunderstorms.
she told me about the whole thing, I asked her why she went on a date with somebody despite, being married to me. We mostly laughed about the whole thing, first by ourselves, and then with our friends who we saw later that night, and agreed this was a ridiculous thing to do, and obviously a date. As if to illustrate the point for us in real time, the guy starts flirt texting her while we are with our friends
That is
night,
too.
and we all start laughing further as we read the evidence that I was right, and maybe my wife shouldn't innocently go to lunch with random dudes. I was mostly happy
Yeah.
about how right I was being proven, and I jokingly bring this up a decade later if the situation ever calls for a playful jab. Needless to say, that was the only time they hung out, and I believe conversation generally went way down. I definitely didn't ask her to switch gyms or even stop talking to him, but it was understood that she should keep the appropriate context going forward, that she's being hit on, and any friendship or whatever with him wouldn't work. It just all went away quickly after we all had a laugh about it, though I was annoyed that some loser was trying to hit on a woman over a decade his junior who was clearly married. Some people just suck. Your conversation with your wife should go something like what I just described. If it doesn't, something might be wrong. Daniel, read the edits on the post. We have had a lengthy discussion about all of this. She didn't necessarily hide it from me, and I didn't have to prod her as much at all for her to tell me that it was a man from the gym. She's known him for 2 years in passing, and they talk occasionally. She's known and has never given me a reason to think she's cheated. This time just seemed very suspicious, and she apologized a lot for forgetting to tell me she was going to do this. Okay, so she was going to do this, but she forgot to tell him
Okay.
she was going to do this. She's very scatterbrained and forgetful, so it's
So,
not ordinary.
what's
Anyway,
next?
thank you, everyone,
Using
for
the
wrapping up
bathroom.
this
That's what's
helpful
next.
advice.
I gotta do it again.
I did most of that before I saw all of your replies, so I think we are okay now. Thank you again.
Oh, I just got a cool idea. I'm gonna have to write that down.
Ooh la la, ooh la la. My ex texted me after learning I was going to a musical the same date and time as them. Am I overreacting? First of all, how does the ex know when you're going to the musical? Are they stalking your stuff? They looking at your stories? Do you have a mole in your friendship group? What if? My ex texted me after learning I was going to a musical the same date/time as them. Am I overreacting? I don't think I should have to adjust my plans with someone I may add because they don't feel comfortable being in the same space as me. I make plans well in advance. I understand you took off work, but just don't talk to me or come over to me. Am I tripping? Please tell me if I'm in the wrong here. I think this was a ridiculous request.
That is a ridiculous request.
I know would never change their plans for me if I was in their shoes. To add, they broke up with me out of the blue. I literally have been nothing but nice to them, so I don't see a reason why they feel so uncomfortable in the same room as me. Like, bro, I don't expect you to talk to me. And by the way, they're going to the same musical. A whole big old theater? Hello?
Where you can't even understand the people who are talking to you?
During what? Intermission? Before you sit down and take your seats? Relax. Hey, I heard you might be going to the Saturday matinee for Little Mermaid. I'm not super comfortable being in the same space as you currently. I took the day off of work and can't really change my plans. If you wouldn't mind going to a different show, I would really appreciate it. Yikes. This person replies, respectfully, no. I'm not changing my plans because you can't handle seeing me in a theater full of people. If you want to sit near me or talk to me, I'm going to the 2 p.m. show, and you can plan accordingly. I think that's a perfect response. I think that's it. You cannot, you in this world, you cannot expect other people to acquiesce to your specific needs. You just can't. If you expect that, if you need that, then work on strengthening your own fortitude. You know, work on that, dude.
So I need string.
That guy broke up with you. That's what happened, right? My guess is this guy.
And
is
that's
bringing
it.
Somebody that this person might have been paranoid about. This guy's about to do something that is a little weird. That's what I think. They're gonna bring somebody where this person's gonna go, that's weird. Why are they bringing them? Somebody in the comments says he definitely cheated and is bringing that person. LOL. Exactly, dude. That is exactly right. This screams narcissistic behavior.
Ooh, food.
Like they went out of their way to somehow find out you were going to the same showing of a play and demanded you change your plans.
I think that might be a stretch.
Where you aren't allowed to be talking to people, so there's no chance you'd bump into them mid-show and strike up an argument. The only way I could see this being an appropriate response is if y'all bought 4 ticketed seats together before the breakup, and they didn't want to have to bring their new fling to sit next to you and your new date. But, like, that situation seems highly unlikely, so I'm gonna go with they are absolutely bung. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think they're just little bonkers. Not overreacting. Of course you don't need to change plans. It's a theater. It's not like you're invited to a birthday party together. This paradoxically could be a way to initiate contact via texting. Just curious. Any reason at all for a breakup that your ex mentioned? All they said was that they just don't feel the same way as me. After dating for almost 2 years? I was like, okay, all right. That confirms it to me. They are bringing a fling that you have been suspicious about. Oh, that is guaranteed, baby. Yo, he definitely is bringing somebody that you don't want to be there. For sure, dude. And y'all been together for 2 years? Absolute insanity! Detective Daniel has cracked the case. Yeah, see, this person here says, nah, you're right. I'm wondering if they're bringing someone with them, and that's why they're acting sus. Yes, absolutely, dude. I'm bringing someone with me, so joke's on them. Clown emoji! Okay, all right, this is up. But the thing is up. Do you know who they're bringing? Because they're probably bringing somebody you're not gonna like. Because y'all are gonna go see The Little Mermaid. He ain't going to see that by himself. No offense to the Little Mermaid lovers out there.
No, I don't care. Like, I genuinely don't care. I don't follow holidays. I like the Mariah Carey song. That's about it.
I found these texts between my husband and his coworker. Here's some context. My husband and I have been dating for 5 years and just recently got
Hey, come
married 6
back here.
months ago. I met this coworker. Her boyfriend worked at my husband's company, so we went on a double date over the holidays. But shortly after, they broke up and her boyfriend got laid off. Guess my husband saw that as his opportunity. Also, these texts were in his recently deleted, even though the last message was from yesterday. So He was definitely trying to hide it from me. So we got a guy trying to hide something. Put texts in recently deleted. So at this point, safe to assume,
Here
she suspected
for
something. She went through
spiders.
his phone and she found under recently deleted him texting a woman who
I thought I missed that jump.
What are the text messages? Let's take a gander, Menander, shall we?
This is a very
Picture?
deep
Okay, it's a picture of the girl thriving back
bit of
here,
water.
but you're welcome. I'm sorry I couldn't give them to you again. I wonder what that means. I've never seen anyone look so freaking pretty while having a mental breakdown. LOL.
What?
Question mark?
That's such a weird thing to say. I've never seen someone look so nice while having an existential crisis.
In response to them sending a selfie is, I don't know how much more
Like,
to know that.
that's weird. That's really weird. Maybe don't do that.
Because there's a couple more. So they're responding. He said the pretty thing. Got 22 responses to that somehow. Don't mention it, LOL. I heard you crying and was completely confused. Like, did I break her camera?
Okay.
LOL. But seriously, office cute heart. Like office cutie? Is he trying to call her? Don't tell HR I said that, LOL. Okay. If you as a man are saying something to a woman, and you gotta follow it up with, don't tell HR I said that, LOL. Especially if it's about the woman's appearance, or how you feel about the woman emotionally, that's probably a no-go. Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater! Divorce! These comments are awesome. It's not even good flirting, says Jaden. He knows what he's doing, and he's warning her not to tell. That's tricky, isn't it? That sucks, dude. When you see somebody who's like, don't tell nobody, we freaking dude. No, it's okay. It's totally not your fault. I think management is just on a power trip, TBH, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so she's not responding to the cute thing. It seems like she's not pursuing, or she's playing it safe, but he's definitely
I also
pursuing.
want some diamonds from here because I don't have any diamonds, but I want to get. I want to be not dead too.
I always thought you were cool as ever. If I start having a bad day, I'm gonna need a selfie for motivation, LOL.
What?
Sorry, but no promises. Selfies are a rare and hot commodity. Gotta put that degree to use somehow. My chakras were all kinds of crossed, but I appreciate the words. You are so sweet. Rare and hot indeed, LOL. That's enough. The fact that she circled the wrong thing. This you need to focus on. Rare and hot indeed. No! No! Sinner! Rare and hot indeed? Everybody in the chat's like, barf! Yes, she went in her way. Her saying, you're so sweet, is like, stop, please stop, oh my god, please stop. Because if it was anything else, if she was into it, sweet would not be the word, I don't think. You don't want me to tell HR? If she sees what he's doing, maybe she does, I don't know. Maybe she is playing along. Maybe she likes the attention because she just got out of a relationship. Not a lot of attention. She doesn't want a relationship. She doesn't even want him to cheat. Maybe it just feels good to feel pretty after a breakup. Maybe, okay?
Okay.
She's dancing with the devil. She's dancing with the
Now
devil.
it's time to look for the
This guy
diamonds.
is the devil. This guy is the devil. Yeah, send me selfies when I'm having a bad day. I need to see pictures. I've never seen him so pretty. And he's only been married for 6 months. So the marriage, the forever thing, he's probably like, geeking out. He's like, oh my god, I'm 6 months into this marriage. There's a girl at work. I think she's really pretty. I don't know what to do. Guess what, buddy? You should have figured that out before you married the girl. You should have figured that out before you proposed to her and you stood under an altar in front of all your family and friends and saying you're going to be in love with her for the rest of your life till death do you part. Everybody's saying divorce. Derek says brain
Well,
farts happen.
or tell
Never
divorce do you
start
part.
brain fart repairing process.
Death isn't the only thing that stops a marriage.
Derek is on one in the chat. Thank you, Derek. This is bad. This is bad news bears. This guy absolutely has intentions to cheat. Asking for pictures of her, and then he deleted the messages. So he was trying to hide it. Why can't humans be decent people for once? Look, there's a lot of people out there who are decent, and there's a lot of people out there who aren't decent, who grow and become decent. I don't think people are stuck as pieces of crap. This guy sucks, though. He got married and he's doing this. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, and he's saying, don't tell HR. Oh, he's gonna lose his job and his wife. He's gonna lose it all. He's gonna lose it all. Everybody's saying not overreact. No overreacting. Absolutely not. Just messy and desperate and clingy and like gross and like don't tell HR and you're cute, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's gonna be divorce city, dude. I'm sorry. And she's not even buying into it. She's like, oh, you're so sweet. If you hit on somebody and they go, you're so sweet, it is not gonna happen.
Okay, I'm gonna go down now. This is some very interesting music.
That you have a That you have a man that cannot even do what he sets out to do, 'cause he swings and he misses. He swings and he misses. Yeah. Pathetic. Am I overreacting?
Diamond.
My boyfriend's friend
Oh my god,
has a
diamonds.
problem with me asking me not to
Diamonds.
sleep in a bed with another woman. My boyfriend has a big group of friends with a lot of girls in it. A lot of times after they go out or have too much to drink, they will crash at someone's house. I don't know mentally where I would be if I was dating somebody. I would rather them not drive home. Yeah, but if they were in a house with a bunch of guys in it, I'd be like, can I pick you up? A lot of times after they go out or have too much to drink, they'll crash at someone's house. One night he came home and shared he slept in a bed with this girl who the texts are from. We did not have a fight at all. I know he's grown up doing this. I told him I wasn't super comfortable with that and asked if he could not do that, to which he did not argue at all and expressed total respect for my boundary. We've not spoken about it since. Okay, so he says, hey, just so you know, I slept in bed with a girl once. He grew up doing that, which I don't understand what that means. But, you know, folks,
Grew up
if you are
sleeping in a bed with the. Okay.
I'm saying the thing. Everybody.
I mean,
I'm saying the thing. When a man goes to sleep.
I have large dependencies as well. I just don't have the requirements to meet them, so I kind of understand the situation. I have horrible sleep. Because I can't go to sleep. I'm too paranoid. And I get even more paranoid when there is a male, but less paranoid when there is a female. I have to force everyone out of my room when I'm ready to go to sleep. But then I still, like, stay awake for 4 hours trying to go to sleep. It's very sad. I wish it wouldn't happen, but it's too late. Because people have tried to drown me in the past, and they were all men, and now I'm scared of men. And now I feel scared for my life every night.
The boyfriend and I were going to take the pull-out couch, and he let me know you were not comfortable with him sleeping in a quote-unquote bed with me. Okay, let's not get linguistic here. Bed or not. If you're sleeping on a freaking couch together, that's even a tighter proximity. What are you talking about? Why are you putting bed in quotes? What's wrong with you, dude? While I totally understand, I want to let you know I would never try to do anything with Blank and would never. Okay, sure, fine. That might be true. That might be true. But why do you want to... I felt bad that he had to sleep on the floor, and it just didn't seem fair to him. I promise there's nothing nefarious about us sleeping in a bed together. We've been friends for 16 years.
That makes it feel nefarious.
They've been friends for 16 years. So she's probably the one who has been sleeping in the same bed with him for a long time.
Oh, yeah, that actually makes sense now that I think about it.
Just talk about it. She totally has a thing for him, and he doesn't realize, says McKaylee.
Are you sure?
That could be it. Why is she fighting the girlfriend on it? That's what I want to know. That doesn't justify anything. Just friends.
I don't know.
Girlfriend said it's a no, so it's a no. Yeah, I mean, yeah, totally. This person replied, hey, Blank, I know nothing has ever happened between you two. Don't worry. For me, it's just a matter of what I feel is appropriate in my personal relationships. I trust him fully, but for me, I'm just not comfortable with him sharing a bed with another woman, even if he's known her for a while. It doesn't speak to either of you in terms of trustworthiness. It's just my boundary. Smiley face. That is expert level response. I would not be nearly that copacetic. That is a terrific response. I think he knows but lets it happen because he craves the attention. Oof. The desire to feel special, important, significant, the desire to feel, wanted, all of that stuff, man, will drive you to do crazy things. What's the song?
Right. There's no more diamonds anywhere. Where are the diamonds at? More diamonds.
So now we have a friend defending the guy. It's like, right, but he slept on the ground. Okay, then why don't you sleep on the ground and let him sleep on the couch?
Oh, that's a good point.
Friend, you sleep on the ground then. Why are you making that? What are you doing? I think this friend just wants to cuddle up. She wants a cuddle buddy. Everybody at the comments like, hell no! She is too concerned about that. Absolutely not. I don't like her response. If it was a problem for him, he could have called me to pick him up or Ubered home or talked to me about it. He hasn't mentioned it to me. So, the girlfriend is like, boyfriend hasn't said nothing. Well, no. Okay, well, if I'm just being super transparent, who asked you to be transparent? I didn't ask you to message me, Stay over there. I don't need you to be transparent. I need you to get away. I need you to not actively be trying to sleep in the same bed as my partner. Goofy. Okay, well, if I'm just being super transparent, it just feels like it's really over the top possessiveness, and it's not a good look for
Possessiveness? No, that's not really possessiveness.
Possessive? I'll show you possessive. I'm gonna take some handcuffs. I'll lock you up, girl. You can trust Bob or whatever the guy's name is to sleep.
I can put you in possessive custody of the police. That's funny. I'll show you possessive.
Choosing to sleep on the floor instead of in bed with you? I really like you and the two of you together, but I know him very well, and just wanted to give you an idea of how this might be affecting him.
Oh God.
Or whatever this girl's name is. Well, I appreciate how much you care for Bob. Honestly, I think you're overstepping. This is not your business, and I find it strange. You're being a little insistent on demanding he sleep in a bed with you. He agreed to this boundary wholeheartedly. Needs a hyphen, but that's okay. And that's all you need to know about it. It's my relationship, and he knows he can come to me if he has a problem with it. I'm done talking about this with you. Reddit, 10 a.m. And a little thumbs up. Response from Op. The blue text. This stuff. This text right here. This blue text. Terrific. Beautiful. Magnanimous. Fantastic response. Excellent boundary setting. 10 out of 10.
I need more torches.
Communication. 10 out of 10 saying my boyfriend has autonomy. He can do whatever he wants. 10 out of 10 saying I don't really like that you're kind of fighting to sleep in bed with my boyfriend. After I've expressed this a couple of times, you're acting a little weird. I need you to knock it off. The friend of the guy being like, you're being weird. I'll show you weird, baby.
Diamond.
Oh, I'll show you something weird. Have you ever heard of hydrochloric acid?
Have you ever heard of hydrochloric acid?
Sleep in bed with my boyfriend, dude. Freaking dude. I don't need to read the comments for this. Let's read one. We'll read one comment.
I don't need a spider. I need spider string. I was wondering where all the mobs went. I wasn't wanting it though. No, a witch.
And when I say necessary, I mean unless you're really looking for support on something or you need help on something. But don't complain just to complain, because that's going to send a lot of mixed signals to people. You just got to talk it out. That's all it is. Not everything is a one-size-fits-all. You got to talk it out. That's the moral of the story today.
Oh.
Outro.
Zoe?
A meeting for coffee? You're gonna
Today, folks, we are going to be browsing the internet and judging strangers. That is right. Today is the day of AITA. It's too late. There's no surprise microphone for this one. AITA for bringing a much older guy to Easter dinner after my dad left my mom for someone closer to my age. Excuse me. Was this a retaliatory thing? And is Easter dinner at your mom's house? Let's find out. I, 18 female, moved out when I was 15 when I got a new boarding school abroad. When I was 12, my dad, who was 45 male, cheated on my mom, 43 female, with a woman, a 26 female, who was 20 at the time. Hold on, there's a lot of math here. Let me try this out. My dad, who's 45, cheated on my mom, who was right around his age, with a woman who was 20 at the time. My dad and mom ended up divorcing, and he has been with her ever since. She's only a few years older than me, and for the past few years, she's been at every family holiday. She's clearly only after his money, but he's too stupid and stubborn to understand. This year, for Easter, I flew back home and asked a friend of mine, 38 male, to come with me and pretend to be my boyfriend just for a few days at my home. Why did you do that? Why did you ask somebody to pretend to be your boyfriend? That doesn't make sense. That is weird. That is weird behavior. I've only seen that kind of crap in like rom-coms and stuff. And she's 18, by the way. She's 18. This girl is 18 years old. And she has a friend who's 38. Oh, you're doing it to your dad as a retaliatory thing. Okay. After dinner, my dad pulled me aside and told me he felt uncomfortable with the situation. I told him I didn't do anything wrong and that after him, love has no age. He told me that I ruined everyone's Easter by being selfish and bringing someone his age to dinner. I flew back to school, but now I'm getting messages from a few relatives saying I should apologize to my dad and break up with my quote-unquote boyfriend. I haven't responded. I don't think I'm in the wrong because he's made my life uncomfortable since the moment he cheated on my mom. AITA. Okay, so
No
now the situation got a little bit more bubbly, a little effervescent. Situation is a bit more intricate, I would say. It's intricate situation like if you were to challenge a leopard.
I wish you could make more torches in the caves, but you have to have wood to make the torches.
His thumb would fall off. It is an intricate situation.
And there's no wood in the cave.
Burger King and asking them where the hell is Ronald McDonald, and also you are completely naked and covered in mud. Seems like many
What?
think this is a lie. LOL. I would too, but I met my friend in a book club when I moved to the US. I'm from Europe, and he's been a great father figure to me. Doing this with a guy you see as a father figure? When I had no friends there, he would buy me dinner and actually spend time with me, and he's recently divorced from his high school sweetheart, so he would have spent Easter alone anyway, therefore decided to take him with and show him around. Do I think you're an asshole for doing that move to your dad? Not really. I mean, it's retaliatory, but I do think you need to be careful with the expectations with this guy, because you're thinking that he's freshly divorced and he's coming around pretending to be your boyfriend as a favor to you. That's a little weird. What goes with the pretending to be a boyfriend? Is he kissing on you? Is he hugging on you? Does he get to hold your hand? I think you might be in danger, girl. you might be a little bit in danger. La 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 la.
What?
I didn't say half of the bad things my dad did, or the whole story. It would have been too long, but trust me, cheating isn't the only thing he did. I know this is immature, people. I know it's extremely immature of me, but I wanted to show him how it feels. Thanks a lot for the advice, everyone. I'll update for Christmas. LOL. Look, again, no, I don't think you're an a-hole or anything for one-upping your dad. If this 38-year-old man was not a freshly divorced guy who agreed to go stay with an 18-year-old girl as revenge to her father, there's something weird about this. That's weird. What are you doing?
This is with the brightness all the way up.
38-year-old man like that. Don't be worried about you and your relationship with your dad. Worry about what you're doing with this guy. He thinks it's a good idea to be a pawn in an 18-year-old's ploy to get revenge on her dad at 38? You think that's a good idea? To pretend to be her boyfriend? You ain't got nothing better to do? You're freshly divorced. You had a wife, and this is what you want to do? I'm not worried about are you an a-hole with the dad. Not the asshole, and I think you made an excellent statement this way. You can even tell people we tend to
Whoa, it's bright.
I learned by watching you. Okay, yeah, but let's zoom in on the other thing. Let's see if anything else is going on. I would message all those people back saying, why isn't age gap okay for dad, but with me it's a problem? If I told you guys he's married, would it be okay? Be sure to mention it isn't like you cheated during a marriage to be with the boyfriend with a huge age gap. That would be bad. Why is it okay for my dad to date someone my age, but not for me to date someone his age? An adulterous age gap relationship does seem like it should be a bigger deal than an age gap that isn't. Okay, so far in all of these comments, not one of them is talking about this 38-year-old dude. Is no one thinking about that? What's in it for this guy? An act of friendship? I'm in my 30s. There's no world where I'm playing pretend like that. Not the asshole, because you gave the taste of his own medicine. It's okay, you don't owe an apology. And where were these relatives when he cheated on your mom? Tell every family member asking you to break up that they should lead the way and divorce or break up with their significant other or shut up. It's funny how uncomfortable the shoe gets when it's on the other foot. Daddy is finding out that children play by their parents' rules sometimes. Shrug, NDA. I like how the person who actually cheated is talking about being uncomfortable. Okay, I need a comment. There we go. My only concern here would be the friend and being very clear about your relationship. A recently divorced man is a confused and stupid thing and may interpret a woman's attention in unpredictable ways. Source: I was once a recently divorced man. Beyond that potential concern, no, you did well. You think? He's a close friend, and I never thought how he'd feel. Dude! I was glad he accepted when I asked. Thanks for that view, though. I was too focused on my dad to think about him. Should I ask him, or what do you think I should do? I have absolutely no interest whatsoever in him. Dude, the lack of vision. She's like, yeah, the 38-year-old, I agreed to be my friend and come revenge on my dad. And I'm 18, and that's so fine. Just be honest. It's not a major concern. Yes, it is. But it was the only negative I could think of. A recently divorced man traveling to meet someone else's family is a bold decision, so it made me wonder. I'm not thinking it's a big deal or something to be overly concerned about.
Hit him!
And I certainly have no idea what he actually thought of the situation. He thought I'm a recently divorced man. There's this hot 18-year-old girl who wants me to come hang out with her family to pretend to be a boyfriend. Yeah, I'll pretend. Goofy? Girl, you are putting yourself in a dangerous situation. Goofy. Just be mindful when talking to him. He's got feelings and they will be raw and fluid at the moment, and he may struggle to place them.
Oh my.
This is a great thing for him to have. A friend with an 18-year-old girl at 38? Look, if you work at a coffee shop, okay, and you're 18 years old, and there's a guy in the kitchen, he's 38, you can be friendly at work, you know what I'm saying? You're friendly at work, and no one is suspicious, no one's feeling any type of way, you go to the company kickball team, hang out, sure, whatever, dude. However, if you are using this guy to do an act of revenge on your father, to point out the discomfort of being in an age gap that big, and you're not thinking about how it's affecting the 38-year-old dude and why he's agreeing to it? Anger is such a weird emotion, because this girl's angry towards her father. It can put you in really dangerous situations, and this is one of them. She's definitely acting like an 18-year-old. Yeah. It's the fact that she doesn't know how he feels and didn't even think about it. Different if they talked about it and he just wanted to support her because her dad is that crummy. Yeah, but like, no matter what he says, that's not something a 38-year-old would do. It's not. 38-year-olds are preparing to have their first proctology stamp. 38-year-olds are thinking about their 401k. They turn on TV to check the weather. 38-year-olds do not generally go, yeah, sure, I will travel with this young 18-year-old right after my divorce from my wife in support to get her to piss off her father. That is something that this 38-year-old wants to do. I don't think so. Okay? I don't think that is a good idea. Yeah, I get it. Thanks a lot. Yeah, but most of these comments are about the father figure. In TA, it's not like you started banging the guy in the middle of Easter dinner. His presence there was enough to send your dad off the deep end because he saw his choices reflected back at him. It didn't like it. Huh, funny how that works. And you didn't even have to cheat on his stuff like he did. Beautiful work, op, 10 out of 10, no notes. I got a big note. Don't do that! It's not a matter of immaturity. It's a matter of like, girl, you in danger. You are walking around with a loaded shotgun. Any 18-year-olds in the chat would do that? Do you know as an 18-year-old, if you're here and you're 18 years old, would you know that this is a bad idea? Because I, as a 32-year-old man, am telling you, that is a bad idea. I'm 22, and I'm assuming this is a bad idea due to the age gap alone. I'm 14, so I don't know. Okay. I'm 19, yes, bad idea, yes. Okay, I'm too focused in. We have to go. AITA for telling my wife we either share our lotto winnings or we separate, and I get half anyway. Money makes people weird, dude. Money makes people strange. You introduce money to a situation, and nothing is sacred. If everybody had
That was scary.
access to, like, good food, healthcare,
That's even more scary.
a decent job, this wouldn't be the case. But in the United States, that is not the case. That's why money makes people crazy.
What?
My wife and I are extremely fortunate to have won a decent amount of money from the lotto recently. It wasn't the top prize, but it was enough to pay off our sizable mortgage and still have some left over for vacations. The mortgage was by far our biggest weekly cost, and with that gone, we could both comfortably cut our hours back at work to only school hours and spend some more time with our kids. This was always a daydream we spoke about when we bought lotto tickets, and I assumed this is what we both would do. When we got the money and paid off our house, everything almost immediately turned bad. My wife started talking about how amazing it's going to be finally not having to work anymore, and I was blindsided by this. Even with the mortgage gone, we would still have to work at least school hours to keep our current standard of living, and on my salary alone, things would be tight. So she's excited that she doesn't have to work anymore. Current standard of living includes husband, wife, 2 cars. Car payments are for a new, decent car. For like a Honda Civic or something, $250. So let's say they're driving around and...
Don't tell me the witch is falling. Oh, the witch is being killed.
So that's good, but you still got property taxes because you own the house. Let's say property taxes are $5,000-6,000 a year. $800 a month is for like insurance and you know, other things. So we're talking about $1,200 a month. Food, gas, Netflix, cable, internet, etc. 600 plus 800, 1400. Let's go all the way up to 2000. Let's say lifestyle things for the two of them, 2000 a month. We're being very generous. It could be less. We don't know where they live.
No
2000.
diamonds in here,
My wife
sadly.
started talking about how amazing it was going to be finally not having to work anymore. Well, where's the 2000 a month going to come from? Kids suck up. Oh yeah, they got 2 kids. Even with the mortgage gone, we would still have to work at least school hours to keep our current standard of living, and on my salary alone, it would be tight. I asked if she was serious, and she said, of course, it was her ticket, and she gets to decide. Okay. When you're married, your finances combine. And remember last video when I said that when you marry your partner, you're marrying their debt? It just happens, dude. Unless you have a prenup or whatever going on. And it, there is one thing of like, you want to keep your individuality, right? Like you want to keep your autonomy. And like, I'm a guy. If I want to buy the PlayStation 6 on my salary, I should be able to do that without having to check with my wife first. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a thought that I have. But even then, maybe I do need. I think in a marriage, if it's over a certain dollar amount, then you got to make decisions as a team. I'm not going to text her and go, I'm about to spend $11 on Taco Bell. Is that okay? You're not going to do that. But you should definitely talk about what dollar amount is it that you're going to combine. It was her ticket, and she gets to decide. This is BS because we both bought lotto tickets before, and when we moved in together, we only bought 1 because 2 seemed like a waste of money. I tried to reason with her, say she could use some of the extra to take some unpaid leave here and there, but she needs to keep her job. And when I said, if I'm only working school hours, she absolutely flipped and started accusing me of being a gold digger and ruining this for her, how she deserved
gold
it after
digger?
working so much of her life, etc. I asked her
For telling you to work a job,
she's never been like this before.
even though you're the one.
We tried to have
Yeah,
this conversation again,
that's
she
funny.
didn't budge an inch. And when she said, well, it doesn't matter now because I'm putting in my notice at work, I lost it. And I told her I'm not going through with this. If she's not going to share the winnings, which is under both of our names, I'll divorce her and get half through the house and therefore half the winnings anyway. This started another screaming match where she continued to call me a gold digger. I'm absolutely exhausted and lost. I feel like my wife has been replaced by an imposter. I would have preferred not winning if I knew this was going to happen. Damn. People are saying yes, divorced. Sasha says no, she still has to work. Life is expensive and she'll blow through the money and end up homeless. This is a huge deal. That is so true. Yes. Most people who win the lottery go back to where they were pre-lottery. Most people hate their lives in about a year or 2 after they win.
That's because they're
It's
stupid and they don't.
not sustainable. You get a big chunk of money, unless you have
Yeah.
a lot of financial training in your belt, you're not going to do right by it. You're not, right? Keep it, save it for the future fun. It's ultimatum or nothing. Yeah, that's true. How long were they married before the money was a part of it? Well, they had kids. She's basically throwing it away. I think this is a horrible thing. This is so sad, and it is true. Money changes people. And the reason why I'm thinking that is because when I was younger, when I was 25, 26, and she started taking off for me, I couldn't handle it. When you go from making small coffee shop wages, making $1,200 a month, I made $1,200 a month for years or less, skating by in LA. And then when YouTube took off, I tripled, quadrupled, quintupled that income within a few months, and it changed my brain. When I went from never ever a sponsor to suddenly I have all these sponsors, it changed my chemistry, dude. It changed how I saw everything, and that's
Money won't ever change me.
It just does, and I would be lying to you if I said it didn't. And I had to go to therapy over that. With that said, my marriage has been destroyed over a lottery ticket, and so it's you want to be careful with who you're dating or who you're marrying. You gotta talk about these things. You have to plan it out. You gotta think about what your game plan is together before you get married, dude. Because after you're married and you have kids and something happens and you go back on your word, whatever, you gotta set the standard. You have to think about these imagined circumstances because who knows what happens. The good news is you can afford the divorce. The bad news is the attorney will be going on your vacation. Can confirm my divorce was amicable and cost me $10K. Jeez Louise. NTA, you may have been able to quit your job in the 1980s, but unless you won millions, then there's no way that she doesn't need to work. It was definitely not millions. LOL. My grandfather, who was pretty well off because he lucked into telecommunications at the right time and got into upper management, told me once of a neighbor/friend of his. The neighbor was always struggling to make ends meet and seemed to have misfortune after misfortune. Eventually, he was looking at his house being foreclosed on. My grandparents, who consider this neighbor a great friend, realized they could help this friend with the money that they had accumulated accumulated in savings. The neighbor was floored and promised to pay my grandparents back, and even took a second job just to do that. After a couple of years, he paid back every week on payday. The amount varied, but like clockwork, he'd get home on Friday and first off was handing over cash to my grandfather. Then he and his wife won the lottery. It was the grand prize. My grandfather said it was north of $1 million. Within days, they had brand new cars, a boat, brand new RV, had their house repainted, new roof put on, and I believe they quit their job. And he stopped paying my grandfather back. Once he had money, he started spending it like it was infinite. My grandfather was asking about it, and he got waved off. The neighbor
Yeah,
said,
that's
"Hey, I
crazy.
forgot about you, but let me have a little fun." They
I'm
took
way
my
too
vacation
scared to do all that.
bought cars for their
Money
kids.
does not make me feel
So
powerful.
they had blown through
Power makes me feel
every
powerful.
cent. The neighbor
And
shook
until
his
I have
box
power,
into
I am
my
not
brother and
powerful.
says, "We just got their property tax bill, and he's a little short." Grandfather just shook his head and turned away. He said, "Sometimes it's worth losing money to get rid of bad people in your life. Money changes people. Have a game plan. You watching this right now, have a game plan of you in success." People want success so bad. They're afraid of failing so bad. Some people should have a little bit of a fear of success because it can ruin you if you're not ready for it. I've used this analogy before in my personal life, but I'll share it with you now. Some people don't realize they're afraid of heights until they are on Mount Everest. What I mean by that is, I couldn't. But if I was, it's very exciting. On the other side of that, where family members start coming out of the woodwork, you got attention on you. You didn't think, oh man, you remember when I paid for this that one time? Your
I could take them through the nether.
You're gonna have somebody who's like, "Your mom's kinda
I could take the, well,
you don't know
ghasts
what you
and
want.
stuff like
Money
that.
good. More money good.
They're gonna
There's
suck to deal with
there's
if I
there's
want to
good
do that.
in sharing the wealth and being nice to people and whatever. But yeah.
I guess I could also just bridge over to the... That'd take a while, but...
Oh my gosh! I didn't think you would be here. Yeah, I'm doing Reddit. You wanna come see? This camera, yeah.
Hello.
Look at her.
Hi everybody. Hi.
Everybody's happy.
Surprise, Eva.
There she is. Wow, we got a surprise girlfriend in
A
here.
real surprise.
Yes.
Not spoiled by a thumbnail.
I'm so excited. Okay, so we're about done with this story.
Not spoiled by a thumbnail is crazy.
ITA for refusing to apologize for
Because she was in the
slapping my boyfriend when
thumbnail.
he smashed our birthday cake to my face.
Toxic off the bat.
Yeah, right off the bat.
You feel children together is what I'm already thinking.
Yeah. Slapping, I feel very strongly about this. We've talked about this before, like early on in dating. But for me, any physical anything to me at all is like a hell no.
Well, you shouldn't be hitting anybody.
Should be hitting anybody.
Shouldn't be hitting. I will say though, smashing someone's face into something is also violent.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I agree.
So that is also like those videos. You know those videos of people
So much thunder.
grabs his wife's or bride's face and smashes it with a cake. I think it's so.
Don't you usually take a bite of cake and then you put your
I
arms
should get
around each other?
copper
Do that, but I've seen videos
so that it
of
won't
people
strike my
like,
animals
"Did you know
down
this is
potentially.
like $500 for makeup?"
Yes.
Now I look a mess at my wedding. This isn't even what the story's about. So
No, but
I'm gonna get us off track.
Yeah.
I'm fine with a little piece of cake, like that's cute.
I know way better than to do that.
I know you would never, but I want everyone. I want this to be on the record on the internet. Never, ever smash my face into a cake. I will stop speaking.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh my god, I was...
Alright, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
My boyfriend and
I've
I
seen so
celebrated
many
our birthdays
people do
together.
that, like,
This year,
why?
we did a small private
I don't like cake because it's really sweet, but still, you're ruining the cake. Not to mention the fact that you just come off as an asshole. God, I hate that. I hate that term for spending money. Splurge is not... It's not a good... Don't use splurge, please. Please. It does not... It doesn't give off spending money vibes. It gives off, like, splat and stuff like that, you know?
Has she always made more money than him?
Sounds more of like another word for splat than it does spend.
So this year he took care of inviting people.
Oh my god, this thing is pissing me off. I hate this little part of the game.
Eyelashes done, and it had my hair done. Okay, here we go.
Did she got her blowout,
Yeah.
she got her brow lamination, or her microblading.
That's a lot of work.
Hundreds of dollars right there.
Yeah, getting your eyelashes done, that's expensive, and it takes time, and it can hurt, too. That's money. Dude sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I made myself pretty, got my eyebrows and eyelashes done, and had my hair done. We were told to
I can sleep during
pretend
lightning
to
storms.
blow the candles because I didn't want to blow our germs on the cake. So we have somebody who's thoughtful. Then we each had a picture alone with the cake. When it was my turn... Yeah, that's weird. We take a picture of the cake.
That's why, moral of the story, don't do joint birthday shit. I don't do it.
Is that the moral? When it was my turn, I was holding the cake when he pushed my face towards the cake. So I tried to fight it. His family started cheering, and he arched over my body and forced me to bend over until my face smashed the cake. My friends tried to get him off me, and then he resorted to plastering cake.
You
and
can only
rocking
sleep at
on
night
my
and
It is a
during thunderstorms.
thunderstorm.
You can only sleep at night and during thunderstorms.
When he attempted to do it again, his mother got up and she got into an argument with one of my guests. I had to cross the main floor with cake all over my face to use the restroom. When I looked in the mirror, I had cake on my neck. And
There's literally mobs spawning.
You can only
What do you
sleep at
mean
night and
only
during
at night or
thunderstorms.
during thunderstorms?
I'm gobsmacked, y'all. I don't condone violence, but he deserved that slap. Also, the parent, I don't like the, okay, boy mom's one thing, boy families, where they literally support foolery. Like, it wasn't him, like, just being like, ooh, like, almost gotcha. It was, oh, you're resisting? Let me make sure this happens. And then the family cheering it on, and then trying to do it again and plastering. Oh,
Also,
that's a breakup.
You can only sleep at night and during thunderstorms.
Okay, I guess the thunder part of the storm's done for, maybe?
Using his power to overpower somebody is really freaking.
Yeah, like that is violent.
I get
And
like-
also the family just like cheering it on. Like, what is
This
wrong
is,
with
this
you?
is something like a non-socialized 14-year-old would do. It would not.
No, 14 is too old for that. And honestly, there's no age where that's appropriate. If I had a son who was doing that,
I'm not saying it's appropriate.
no, but if I had a son who was doing that at the age of 8, I would be like, you're never.
Well, I would be like, where did you see that?
Oh, where'd you see that? And you're never doing that ever again.
For those of you watching, this was a trend. Like, I've seen trends of, like, young people doing this at birthdays. Not with a couple, but it's usually to a guy, or it's, like, girlfriends doing it to a girl.
Yeah, or I just think it's different for women because you, like this lady, you get your hair done, you get your lashes done, you get your brows done, you're probably wearing a nice outfit, you spend a lot of time getting ready, you want to look good for your birthday, and then you literally get covered in shit.
Yeah, that's awful.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Ooh, if there were rods in that cake, it could have been murder, people.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
His family were all
Oh.
sad.
That would...
I told him what
Ugh.
he did was unacceptable, and he said it was just a joke, and that everybody has done that for ages, and that me slapping him just ruined my image in front of his family.
You can only sleep at night and during thunderstorms.
Terrifying him that he should go over himself and his guests. My friends insisted on paying for their own food, but I refused. We ended the night right there. Also, her friends were trying to pull him off of her. Her friends were like, what the hell are you doing?
Also, like the ruined your image in front of my family.
Yeah, that's
it's
stupid.
like
No.
everything he did before wasn't terrible. Also, at that point, you and your family.
Yeah, somebody said she was literally fighting back. Suck it up. It's not a joke if you force someone down like that.
Also, we need to stop just calling things a joke. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's funny.
it's a joke. If I just assaulted you,
I
it's a
hate
joke.
black people. It's just a joke. I'm literally writing a song about that type of stuff.
Funny.
My friends wanted to treat me to having dinner elsewhere, but I wasn't comfortable with my appearance. She's great friends. Your friends would be like that. You have
Yeah.
great friends. You have
My
excellent friends.
friends would have jumped whoever did that.
They
They
would've-
would have been a brawl.
I would have been bloodied. And I like how you said whoever and not me, because you
Well,
could
you-
never...
I-
Lodestone Compass, you are now
They ended up sending me the money that I spent.
World
That's so sweet. Charles, crazy name to do this kind of behavior. You shouldn't be named Charles.
Spawn.
It's a fake name, but it's funny that's the game.
He should go by Chucky, dude, because he's acting like he's acting like the doll. Chucky had to pay for half of the remaining bill and got charged a cleaning fee. I still love him, but I'm clear that I'll never be able to forgive him. We talked about it, and I ended things.
Okay.
He's convinced that I never loved him. He acknowledged that what he did was wrong, but he's adamant that his family hates me. Well, why?
Who cares?
Who cares? His family hates me for slapping him, and that it's my fault.
Who cares? I don't care. I literally don't care. If I was her, I would have no respect for any of these people. I don't care. If people I don't respect don't like me, I don't care.
Yeah, that's a big life lesson right there. If people you don't respect don't like you, who cares?
It's
You gotta
already...
learn that. There's a lot of you back there who need to learn this.
Okay, it's
You know,
already
No,
oxidizing.
because it's me in the past. Like I want to know. I don't have to be liked by everybody. He acknowledged that what he
Bed
did was
is
wrong,
too
but his
far
family
away.
and his family
You
hates
can
him for
only
slapping
sleep at
him,
night and
that is
during
my fault.
thunderstorms.
I told him that he ruined not only our birthday, but also my way to celebrate my career
Oh, right,
milestone.
yes.
Oh, is that what that was about, too?
Yeah, it was her celebrating.
Oh, yeah, new achievement in my career.
Oh boy.
Right. I've worked very hard to get to where I am, and that his behavior showed me what my future will look like. Let's say if they have 2 boys. Good God, you want him raising those boys? I don't think so. And that I'm sorry to say it, but he was so aggressive and so focused on making his family laugh at my expense that I realized he's not good enough, and that I've lost my confidence to be seen with him in public. Ooh, because I don't know what else he'll pull out of his ass. Ooh, he says he paid for the cake, that he's not saying that it was okay to smash it, but it's not like I paid for everything. He wanted me to apologize to his mom, but I refused. To his mom?
Fuck the mom. I don't give a f- I have personal beef now with these people.
Yeah.
I don't like any of these people. Who cares? Close the computer. Who cares? Who cares about these people? You go, girl. Leave that piece of garbage behind. Oh my god. Oh,
Yeah.
there's more.
Yeah.
Right.
Here we
I'm
go.
supposed to keep us on track and I'm getting us off track because
Important. I am not proud of my reaction. We have never had any physical altercations. That's good. He says his mother feels humiliated because of what I did and that she has been struggling with mild depression for years. I didn't know. Who cares? What does that have to do with anything?
no offense, but who cares?
That
And also,
has
why
nothing
is
to do
she
with
not
anything.
humiliated over her son's actions? Boy mom disease.
Yeah, and I came off as violent. Am I
Then what the f
for
did her
refusing?
son come off as?
I already blocked him. I have a question. Hypothetical. What if girlfriend is a bodybuilder and she big?
I don't think.
What if she slapped
I don't
the
think-
snot
I think
off
we
of this
can. And
man?
what if the sky was green? I think we could do so
But what
many
if-
what ifs,
is it
and it
diff-
doesn't matter.
Is it different if
No.
she's huge?
No.
If she's a
No.
no?
No. I don't care if she's 8'4". I don't care if she's Yao Ming. Okay.
You say Yao Ming? Like the basketball player? People are saying go off queen. Somebody said what if they're both 78? Yeah.
It's still bad.
What if
The wrong person.
What if he got a black eye from the slap?
Who cares?
Okay.
I said what I said and I stand by. Who gives a fuck?
What if she punched him? Is that different?
Literally, who cares?
Oh, okay.
What he did, he literally assaulted her.
Yeah, that's true. That's
It
true.
was a
That's true.
physical struggle. People were trying, and then he continued.
That's
like
true.
smearing stuff. Like, babe, don't do this. Don't do this.
I'm just seeing
Don't
where
do
you're at.
this.
I'm just seeing where you're
Don't
at.
do this. Don't. You love this devil's advocate shit.
Could she have stabbed him?
Well, that's.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on because I'm trying to trap you here. Somebody says if you have to defend yourself, injuries are deserved.
Yeah, it's self-defense. Sometimes you gotta slap a hoe in self-defense.
Yeah.
Even if that hoe is your boyfriend.
Sometimes you gotta slap a hoe. Eva Rose. Everybody, really good.
Timer, you have 5 more minutes, babe.
Oh God. Okay. Let's read some of the
Wow,
comments.
this is quick.
Some of the comments say his mother feels humiliated. You came off as violent. Did she not see what he did to you? Well, when it was my turn, I was holding the cake when he pushed my face towards the cake, so I tried to fight it. His family started cheering, and he arched over my body and forced me to bend over until my face smashed the cake. How does one do this to their future spouse and then act like it was nothing but fun times? Me slapping him just ruined my image in front of his family. Do you think I care?
Babe, I wrote all these comments, by the way.
This is all I can think of. This is a very famous video on YouTube. This guy is trying to correct somebody's behavior. Noah, give it back.
No!
I said give it back now. Oh, Noah! He pushed a little. Boom.
Oh.
What the hell is
He said everyone can get it. Everyone can get it. He said all you can get is smoke. Bop, 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 bop. She should have done that to the whole family.
Yeah, she should have
She
done that.
lined up everyone in the
Shouldn't have
family.
had the whole thing. Yeah, I think we're all in consensus here. The
Yeah.
chat's been pretty classic. They're all saying they're all
Yeah,
saying.
we all agree.
Okay, can I speedrun this?
No, babe, I know you and you can't.
I'm gonna read this really fast. Everybody.
I'm gonna have to take the demons with me, but
AITA for refusing to do my boyfriend's laundry after he told his mom I don't do anything around the house. So I'm a 26-year-old female who lives with my boyfriend, 28 male. We've been together for 3 years, living together for
You
1
can
month.
only
Work
sleep
full-time,
at
but
night
also
and
cook,
during
do laundry,
thunderstorms.
stop handling
Right.
bills,
You can
take care
only
of
of
sleep
course,
at
of
night
course,
and
of course,
during
of course.
thunderstorms.
But that's about it. I brought it up before, and he says he'll try to do more, but never really followed through. Last weekend, We visited his parents for dinner. Out of nowhere, his mom says to me, "So what do you actually do around the house?" Boyfriend's thing. Says you're not really the domestic type. Guys, I literally just blinked at her. I laughed awkwardly and said, "Well, if by not domestic you mean I do everything, then sure." She didn't even laugh. She looked around embarrassed and didn't say a single word to defend me. On the way home, I asked him what that was about. He says, "I just meant you don't really enjoy housework." Dude, who does? I was mad. He apologized lightly and said it was just a joke. So I decided to take a little break from his laundry. I stopped doing his clothes completely. I didn't say a word, just folded mine and left his in his basket. A week passed, then two. I could see his pile growing. Finally, he asked me, "Are you mad again or something? You haven't done my laundry." I just said, "I thought you said I didn't do anything around the house, so I figured I'd live up to the label." Now he's saying,
"You haven't done my laundry. Am I your mommy?"
now he's saying I'm being petty and immature, and even his mom texted me saying I should let it go already. I told her I'd be happy to let it go right into the washing machine with the rest of his responsibilities. So,
You're literally his caretaker.
Yeah.
You're literally his maid and cook. Not to be the person that always says dump him, but dump him. This low-key reminds me.
I think if you're the guy, you gotta recognize you messed up, and you gotta go, "I am so sorry. Let me make this up to you. Don't do the dishes for a month."
No, because then it's
Let-
gonna
let
go
me-
back to normal bullshit. You want to be with someone who doesn't like he's used to his mommy doing everything, and so his girlfriend is now his new mommy. And the fact that he is a mom who goes up to his girlfriend and be like, "So what do you do around the house?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's insane.
so weird. And also the fact that like the labor of having to keep a home in order and having to do, especially this isn't even your spouse. This person is an adult. They need to be cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, groceries like that. You all should be doing that together.
Yeah, we both work full time.
Like, so you both work, so you do more. Like, you work full time and
Yeah.
you also do everything else.
Yeah.
Like, at what point are you an indentured servant? Like,
At what point are you an indentured servant? Yeah, that's a man boy, man child.
literally, girly, free yourself and you'll be so happy.
Yeah.
Only having to do your own laundry and cook for yourself and buy your own groceries and
Yeah.
handle your own bills and take care of your own cat. And then when you are in a relationship with someone, it's gonna be great when you both get to do those things together.
Yeah. With that, as soon as Eva pushes a note on the piano,
Ooh.
it will be an outro. Pick a good one. You get one. Outro.
Bye!
Notice that my ores are almost done cooking by the time I made a blast furnace. I'm just trying to set up a good thing for whoever else joins the world later on. Two hours? Dang.
There is a subreddit called Am I Wrong? Where people want to know, are they right or are they wrong in this situation? And you and I, today, we're going to help them out. Starting with, am I wrong for not lashing out at this girl for saying that I have ugly privilege? What is ugly privilege? If I were to guess what ugly privilege is, my guess is that you can go places without being noticed. I still feel so gobsmacked from this interaction. I'm not even mad, I'm just confused about what I should have done. I was talking to this girl who I sat next to during spin class about how hard the class was outside after it had ended. For a little bit of context, we are both in our early 20s, but she looks like your quintessential tall, tan, and pretty blonde, while I'm darker skinned and built like a toadstool, short and stout. This could be at any gym, but this feels very OA, you know. We were both in workout clothes, and a guy catcalled her saying how good she looked in her fit, walking by with his friends. She scoffed, turned to me and said, "Oh my god, guys are so disgusting. You're so lucky that you have ugly privilege and don't have to worry about things like
God forbid you get a compliment.
surprise microphone!" Man, my eyes it looks like I've been crying all night. I haven't.
Like,
I'm tired. When I'm tired, I wear
God
sunglasses
forbid you get a
glasses, so I guess
compliment.
what it is.
Oh,
It's just-
so
it's sort of
bad
slow
for
the rest of
you.
my
Oh
things.
my
Being
god.
floored and very
Oh, I
confused,
feel
asked her
so
what she meant.
bad.
She clarified that I clearly don't have to worry about things like being catcalled, harassed by men, or being discriminated against in the workplace. Is that an ugly thing, or is that being a
Well, at
guy
least you
thing?
can
I
be
wouldn't call it
harassed.
ugly
Like,
privilege, though.
ever think
I
about
wouldn't
that?
call it that. Not to somebody that I just met. No. That's bad. That tells me you have zero social skills. Unless she did it in a cruel, deliberate way to make sure that guy never hits on her. Wouldn't that be a crazy move if she was like, I think this guy's gonna hit on me. Let me just call him ugly first, just to make sure he knows how I feel, so he doesn't ask me for my phone number at the end of this interaction. That would be wild. She also said that it must be so refreshing to not have to spend hours worrying about how I look around men. Are you a guy? I was talking to this girl after the... Oh, why did I think you were a guy? Why did I think you were a man? Oh, dude, that's so weird. Well, if you're a woman, this is horrible. I called my boyfriend. Yeah, what the f... Oh, this is way worse. This is way worse than I thought it was. She also said that it must be so refreshing to not have to spend hours worrying about how I look around men. Genuinely being at a loss for words, I just said okay and told her to have a good day before I went to my car and sat in confusion for 5 minutes. So you're a woman and a woman told you that? I thought she was saying that to a guy. I don't know why, but I thought she was saying that to a dude. Oh, no, you better catch these hands. That's crazy. That's how you get in a fist fight. That's crazy. How are you... A woman said that to another woman? I called my boyfriend and told him about the interaction. After sharing in my initial shock, he was confused as to why I didn't have a comeback and told me that I should have stood up for myself. I am normally a very passive person, and she genuinely didn't seem to get how insulting it sounded. But now I'm wondering
Sounded?
if I should have lashed out. Lashed out? I don't know. I don't know if lashed out is correct, because to me the phrase implies that it's kind of coming out of nowhere, like it's a whip in the distance.
Yeah, that's what lash out is meant to be.
That's what lashed out means to me. I don't think this is lashing out. Yeah, I think you should be defending yourself. Be like, hey, dude, that's a crazy thing to say. You know, maybe this woman is from a family where they all like jab at each other. This is kind of a stranger to you. It's just some girl, not even a friend of yours, and she's saying stuff like that. Like, I think she needs to be, you know, not. I'm not an advocate for violence here. I'm just saying some people have never been confronted, and this is one of those situations where it's like, nah, you gotta get them claws out, right? Just give her a little love tap on the forehead. Just do one of these.
Love tap on the forehead.
Just do one of these. Yeah, on the forehead. Yeah, bad. That would solve it. A little flick on the forehead. She's honestly a total B. She meant to insult you. I'm so sorry. You deserve better. Well, bless her heart. Isn't she just the best at backhanded compliments like ever? I believe Ron White had the best comeback line for this. You can't fix stupid. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what a good reply would have been to this person. Let me chew on this one. Let me chew for a second. Let me just... you. I can't think of anything good, dude. What would you say to somebody who just straight up is saying you have ugly privilege? I think the only response
Ugly
like,
privilege is so
and
stupid to
I think
say.
that's for you know, you have stupid privilege to where you think you can get away with saying things like that. It must be nice to breeze through life unencumbered by
Ignorance
thought.
is bliss,
Stupid
or
privilege.
sometimes.
Personality doesn't match your looks.
I find
Oh, don't worry.
ignorance
When
to
you get older,
be
you'll have ugly
stressful.
privilege too. Boom! You'd probably have pretty privilege if you didn't have coming out of your mouth. Boom! Too bad pretty fades and stupid is forever. Boom! Haha, a quick, I know what you mean. I always envied bimbos with stupid privilege. Going around in blissful ignorance, saying things without ever having to think would have been perfect. This is scripted brilliance. Memorize that the next time this situation occurs, which is never. That should never happen to you again. Some moron telling you have ugly privilege. Am I wrong for leaving a date without telling him? I met a guy online, claimed to be 4 years older than me, but no big deal. I'm 24. We were interested in the same things and got along well, so we decided to meet for a drink last weekend. I went to the bar and was looking for him, then I seen him, but he looked different. Older. I went over and met him and said, he looks different than his picture, and he said, oh yeah, those pictures are a few years old. I said, but you're 28, right? He said he was actually 42, but age is just a number. Homie,
Oh, usually the people who are saying age is just a number are going after people under the age of 18.
It's the you lying thing. I got
Yeah.
I forgot my phone in the car. Where I was, and I said I went home, that I'm not into older guys or being lied to. He said I was shallow, and that's why he doesn't.
Age is just a number for people who think age is just a number.
She said I'm mean for just leaving a date and not even
Some
telling him
people
that maybe he was
don't
a nice
like
guy.
dating people who are going to die 10 years from now. Or like 30 years before them.
Stand up for yourself. Get up off the ground. I'm not into guys that much older. People can do what they want, but it's not for me. Am I wrong? Believe it. No, you are correct. It's fine. The guy calling you shallow is a manipulative tactic. You dodged a huge bullet. Your friend is silly for recommending that you go back. I don't know what your friend was thinking, but yeah, dude, no, you're completely in the right here. But age is just a number. If it's just a number, then why lie about it? You're not wrong. Good for you for leaving. It needed a. That's amazing that you think like that. My grandma is single. I'll pass your number to her. Boom! Yeah, there's Reddit's just full of comebacks. But age is just a number. And why is he seeking out much younger women instead of women his own age if age is just a number? He should seek out women double his age instead of half his age then. I bet they aren't shallow. It's a weird tactic. It's a manipulative, weird tactic. And I think I'm talking to the 42-year-old now. It's like a spider setting a trap. It's like one of those trapdoor spiders. You know what I mean? They hide. Yes, I'm 28. Come see me. And then they show up and you're like, bam! I'm 42. Now I'm putting it on you to have to make the uncomfortable decision to leave. The only reason why you would let yourself stick around is if you are comfortable with me being.
Actually, no, don't sleep.
That is the only reason why. That's so dumb. What was he gonna do? Was he gonna go on to be like, yeah, I'm 42, but it ain't all that bad. I'm also rich. Pulls out his phone, does Snapchat at the bar. If they lie about one thing, they'll lie about something else. Yeah, and it's not even a big thing to lie about. 42 also is not like old. I mean, you can date whoever. At 42, theoretically, you could date a 24-year-old if you are upfront about it and if they don't care. That's fine. It's whatever. It's out there. People do that. I mean, I'm in LA, so I see that all the time. But like, if you're honest about it and you both understand, whatever, dude, what am I gonna do? Call the police? No, 42 is not creepy old guy age. So why do you gotta do creepy old guy stuff? You're behaving like a creep, and I think that puts you firmly in that category. I use a fake name on Bumble, which is a westernized close name to my actual name. I did this because I believe my name was putting girls off. I often think about exactly what you've said in your comments. I wouldn't lie about anything else, but doesn't look good. I mean, lying about your name, it's not. You're giving yourself a nickname that giving yourself a nickname to be easier to pronounce is like a byproduct of being in the United States. I get it, but you're not changing your age. That's a completely different thing. Your friend is not looking out for you. I would not take her advice in the future. Why does she care more about some guy who's clearly waving bright red flags than she cares about you? Is she not aware that this is potentially a dangerous situation and you are completely right to ditch this guy? Good for you for getting out of there ASAP. What a dumb, what a weird situation. Am I wrong for ending a 20-year marriage because I learned my wife cheated on me while we were dating? My wife and I have been married for 20 years. We started dating in high school when I was a junior and she was a senior. We were long distance for her first 2 years of college while I was in high school and did 1 year of community college. Then we went to college in the same city for a year and have lived together since. Okay, so you were long distance. And this is a very common thing, man. You know when you're a freshman in a college and then like, some girl is like, yeah, I have a boyfriend but he's on the other side of the country. I don't know. Like, that's such a common thing, I feel like. And I, for sure... I went and got every Takis flavor that I could find. We gonna see.
Alright, let's bring this guy to the water.
I'm gonna take
Actually, I have no clue if that'll work.
Who can take on the heat? Here's to the heat. 1, 2, 3.
I just know he'll be slower, so he can't attack me properly.
Somebody that I knew. Cheated on her boyfriend in 4 years. We got married the summer after I graduated college. Our marriage
Perfect.
has been great so far, but I initiated a divorce.
No!
Sleeping with multiple other men for the 2 years we were long distance. Oh, multiple? This is interesting. Just after Christmas, we got together with a few friends of hers from college to catch up, have dinner, and hang out. We talked about a lot of stuff, and my wife mentioned that we met in high school. Not that we dated, just that we met. The old college roommate commented that it was crazy that we met in high school, had a few wild years in college, then ended up together. I played along and commented that I didn't know if my wife was as crazy as I was. The roommate started to tell a story, but my wife cut her off and said she was uncomfortable about it. I sensed something was up, so I said that we actually started dating in high school and we were together for my wife's entire time at college. All my wife's friends got real quiet and the rest of the dinner was awkward. So she lied to her friends. Her friends didn't know that you were together in high school?
Another one?
Said you were single the whole time. On the way out, one of her other roommates
Hold
took
on,
me
let me put this
aside
one
and
up.
said I should
I gotta
have
make more
an
armor.
honest conversation about what happened at college. I asked my wife on the way home, and she kind of blew me off. I told her it was important that she was honest with me, and again, she said it wasn't important. When we got
It's gonna
home, I told her
despawn,
I was
though.
gonna stay at my brother's
It
house
already
until she
probably
was ready to
has.
talk about what happened in college. The next day, she came over and admitted to sleeping with several men during her first 2 years at college. She said she didn't consider it a big deal at the time because we were long distance, and she didn't think a high school romance would last. I pressed for more details, and she said it was at least 10 different men, including at least 3 guys she's introduced to me as friends when I came to visit on weekends, and 1 guy she was still in contact with.
Ah.
I told her that I wanted a divorce.
Jesus
and would be
fucking
starting the
Christ, you
paperwork as soon as
terrified
I
me.
could, which I did on January 2nd. Oh man.
Thought you might have been a creeper.
My family is telling me that I shouldn't throw away my marriage over a few mistakes. I've stood by my belief that cheating on me with multiple men for years is unacceptable, no matter when it happened, and the fact that she continued to maintain relationships with these guys right in front
Where's
of
my
me
zombie
was
horse?
an unacceptable amount of disrespect.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
I mean, she certainly is
It's gone.
practiced at lying to you. That's
No!
she is practiced at lying to you, and she has been
Why do
practicing
creepers
that for the past
exist?
20
Oh, there it
years.
is.
We have
Never mind.
2
I was just
children,
mistaking
but
it.
they are 17 and 19, and I believe they will
Stop.
understand why I need to end the marriage. Am I
Stop.
wrong for leaving? I feel
Fucking
like we're
creepers.
crazy with the amount of people telling
Alright,
me to look over
let me
years
find a
of
zombie
infidelity
horse
and decades
back.
of lives. Obviously, answer every question.
Another zombie
The reason
horse.
I posted this is that my wife and a few friends have been saying it's common to sleep with other folks when you're in a long distance relationship, and that I'm kind
I
of
gotta get one for...
That's something that your wife's friends are saying to her to make her feel better. This should not make you feel better. You are being gaslit. I felt like I was being gaslit, but I wanted an outside perspective. We live in a state with a waiting period to finalize a divorce, so I felt it was a reasonable idea to get some insight before things are finalized. After these comments, I see a handful of folks saying it's normal to sleep around during a long-distance relationship, but it seems to be a significant minority. I don't know. I think maybe your wife thought there was an unspoken rule about being non-monogamous, and that is cheating. That's cheating, homie. If you're in a long-distance relationship and you feel like the other person is your partner, and you're being lied to cover those tracks, yeah, dog. We saw each other a couple of weekends a month during the 2-year college period. I lived about 3 hours away from her college. Only 3 hours away? You only lived 3 hours away? It's not like you were in a different country. You could just drive a couple hours? So it was long distance, but not like cross country. This was not a situation where we went.
I should have just killed and tamed it.
Yeah, that's different. The 3 guys I met while she was in college were meetups that happened during parties.
Killed the
subject of
zombie and
being
tamed the
your boyfriend
horse.
didn't really come up, so I honestly don't know if these guys knew anything. The one guy we're still in contact with married a mutual friend from college. This is not some guy she secretly messages on the side. It's somebody we've talked to regularly for years. I've talked to him a few times since I've learned about my wife. He said he didn't know we were dating at the time and has since blocked my wife on social media. You just don't trust your wife. Bro, you just don't trust her. And like, when you know somebody for a long time, like this, you've been dating since high school, you kind of are locked into believing that they are the exact same person they were in high school. You're in your 40s now. You are not who you were when you were 17, 18, 19. You're not. I'm not. And I'm glad I'm not. I was freaking wild back then, dude. I was wrong all the time about a lot of stuff, you know? I was dumb. Everybody's dumb in high school. And when you're in college, the way that, the world...
Not everybody.
Think you're supposed to go crazy. You're supposed to go
I'm in
wild.
high school. I am not dumb.
Yeah, I went to bed, and that was me. But I also wasn't in a long...
I don't know everything, but I know a lot of it.
Some kind of attempt to save the marriage, but her insistence that this whole thing is common and I'm the one who's out of line
What
is just
is...
too much for me.
Why does arrows
They're not
produce
respecting
bubbles?
the therapist. I get it. It's how they're dealing with this situation that's really turning you off. I guess if she owned up to it in a different way and addressed your concerns and addressed your feelings and was like, look, I screwed up major. I really am ashamed of that person I was 20 years ago, but don't you like change every cell in your body every 7 years? You're physically not even the same human being. The only time she showed any remorse or even offered to reconcile is when I started filing paperwork. In the last week, she's gone back to saying she's right.
Oh my god, there's so
Also,
many
I feel like I'm being
witches.
gaslit. It seems obvious that this is a major issue, but I've got my wife and others telling me it's normal and I'm overreacting. Okay, so we're getting all the context we need here. I'm really curious what the...
At this point, a zombie horse is just gonna burn to death.
They're gonna say how she reacted.
I'm gonna
to
get this
situation
guy
is the
instead.
reason why you should file, because she's trying to dismiss it. She's not confronting these difficult feelings. feelings, but she thought she was gonna get away with it. She got away with it for 20 years, and she is practiced at lying to you. That's a big deal. Practiced at lying to you. She's good at it. You didn't notice anything for 20 years, dude. That would rock my world. Based on some of the comments here, I followed up with a friend that said I should have an honest conversation. She told me that 10 guys would be on the low end, and that her biggest concern was that there was apparently at least one pregnancy scare that I didn't know about. I honestly don't think that really changes much. It's less about the number for me and more about the fact that she seems incapable of recognizing why this was wrong or why I feel betrayed. So, yeah. Do I think you're wrong? No.
Alright,
I don't.
hopefully my zombie horse isn't bugged and just burning to death.
Like, if it was a thing that she really regrets and like talked to
Yo!
people about and whatever, then
Got the zombie
I think
horse.
saved it. But I think it's that she's practiced in lying to you. She lied to her friends as well, and she's kind of gaslighting you to making you feel like this isn't a big deal. Let's see these comments. She cheated and lied to you.
Not bad horse either.
Contact with at least one of her F buddies and introduce you
Well,
to
it's got
many of
that
the guys
jump,
that were
but
banging her. That is not only dishonest, but cruel. I think you are 100% in the right. Who knows what else she's done? You have no way of knowing. That's the thing. The trust has been fractured. It's fractured because she's practiced at lying. Like, it's dishonest but cruel. You know, cruel is interesting. I think it's a power trip. I think it's like she wanted to feel bad. She wanted to feel naughty, and so she did that. Yeah, that's the part that stuck with me most as well. My marriage ended primarily due to my ex cheating on me. The part that hurt the most was that it was with her coworker, someone she made quick friends with, and someone who was trying to be friends with me too. We had him and his wife over to hang out.
alright, it's time to name someone. Well, maybe I shouldn't name them yet.
Certainly made me feel like a tool. I wish you the best. Don't let anyone tell you it's not so bad because it was a long time ago. She chose to keep it a secret and would have continued doing so. I guess she didn't feel that guilty about it. That's not someone you can trust. The thing about this being a long time ago, it's a long time ago for the other person, but it is brand new to you. So they cannot control how you react to it because it's brand new to you. They have 20 years of callousing their minds against it. They have 20 years of numbing themselves to the feelings of guilt. They have 20 years of coping, and you just got it. You just got it. And the fact that she can't be honest with her friends around you, they can't talk and laugh about how they were when they were younger around you. You're not dating 100% of your partner. You're dating 90% of her. Nothing wrong with getting down and around. Nothing wrong with being a little, freak in college. Cool. But lying about it, and you were in a relationship. Am I wrong for reporting a high school student for stealing, resulting in them losing out on scholarships? I ordered an item with a price tag of $2,200 US. Okay, so let's pretend that is like a MacBook Pro. I have camera footage. I brought it to the attention of the parents, and they ignored it. So you knew who the parents of this kid were? Was it like a neighborhood kid? Only way to get a replacement was by filing a police report. 3 months later, the police completed the investigation, and they did arrest and charge my neighbor's child. Generally, the community and parents are telling me I ruined the future of a child over $2,200. The kid in question is 17. He stole something from you. The fact that the other parents ignored it is bad. They
Alright,
so...
so...
What the heck? Come here, give him that thing back. That should have been it. Did they give it back to you? That's the question. When you brought it up to them, did they go, did they give it back to you? And then they ignored it? Or did they ignore it entirely?
I could put some of them in boats and carry them with me.
Sell it. You might have just cracked open a case. You might have just cracked open a whole crime.
So I'll put all the ones that can be in boats. So there's 2, 4, 6 boats.
Motif for a crime.
6 boats.
That's 2.
Well, no, 3 boats.
Crime! The police that took my report off the record did recommend I drop the issue since this would fall under a felony and could really screw up this kid's life. Was I wrong because I wanted my item back? No, this kid should learn that stealing is bad. Stealing thousands of dollars of stuff is bad. You're not wrong. How the hell did that kid get a scholarship anyway? You're young.
I'm gonna make the last boat and leave a boat here for someone else.
And never do shit like that again. This person says people genuinely think you're supposed to take a $2,200 loss to not screw up a 17-year-old's future. Hard pass. Parents could have remedied it. Parents failed this kid, not you. Yup, it's the parents. And the fact that you clearly didn't get the item back. You didn't get your MacBook Pro back. If I had a new computer coming in the mail, I have a battery coming in the mail right now. A little battery thing that you could plug your phone into, and you could plug, you know, it's a little power bank thing. It's like this big, and it's multiple chargers. I
portable
wait by
charger.
my door every day. It should have been here yesterday. I'm waiting by my door every day. I'm so excited for this battery. I'm so excited for it. I can't imagine getting a MacBook Pro, waiting every day for weeks for it to come in the mail, and then it's stolen, and then you give it to the parents, and they're like, we don't care. They're also SpongeBob doing an impression of an old person. You're completely in the right. Boo! Stealing bad.
Alright, I think I'm gonna come back later today and do this.
Was a kid taking my backpack as a joke. Get back!